after the
Yeah.
recap. So, all right, let's go. Welcome to session 2 of Dungeon of the Man Mage. I am your, as always, benevolent DM, Rahal, and we are back here for this. So, is there a volunteer for a recap?
Yeah, I'll do
sure.
it.
Oh.
Whoa!
No,
Well,
by
go
all
ahead.
Two
means,
offers.
Malachi. No.
Two
Oh.
offers.
Oh, well,
No,
actually,
no.
I was just thinking that I felt like I had a strong connection to what happened.
It's
Yeah, go for it.
thinking that maybe this was-
unprecedented.
It's true. You
It's
use your
my character's time to, like...
Everyone gets a sentence each.
Unprecedented.
Be sure to put in like a stop in the recording here, like doom, 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 doom. Unprecedented.
This is going in the intro.
Malachi
video.
and I totally didn't orchestrate that to counteract all of the silence.
No
that,
collusion.
All right, well, session's cancelled. We can't.
We're going home. That's it.
It's started the show with a showstopper.
Everybody
No.
get out of your houses and then go back.
All right.
Anyway.
All right. Yes. No collusion recap. please.
Anyway, last time we began the adventure by introducing our characters and everyone meeting in the Yawning Portal, forming a group known by the proud name of the Greenhorns. A name we will certainly carry into legend. A legendary name, a strong name. We then proceeded to go down into the Yawning Portal and explore the first level, part of the first level of this probably very big dungeon. We went down a hallway. We found a secret passage. It was like, oh, that's a secret way. Secret ways are always full of treasure and good things. So we explored it. There was like an ooze in there that began destroying my halberd and my weapon, without which I'm not actually that useful, guys. Really, most of what I do is with that halberd. But we defeated the ooze. The halberd was repaired, and we saw a statue of a Sahagin, like a shark man god. We didn't really discover what to do with it, what the purpose of it, but we proudly went on. There wasn't really much in there. And explored a room full of pillars and a bone snake and an undecipherable message. And it was very ominous. We spent a while there just trying to figure out what kind of hideous trap was going to spring, until we decided that there wasn't one. And then we went south after a lot of debate about should we go to the place that might have some bad things or another bad thing, but no, goblin feet seemed to have moved south. So we followed south. In a long hallway, through a narrow crypt passage, there was like a statue, a headless statue, and then there was two doors. We blocked one door and followed the footsteps further into an area that sort of looked like a little bit of a prison. There were sort of people, like corpses set around. There was a particular dwarf corpse that had a message. Look for the little dwarves under the mountain. One of them hides the key to my heart, it said. We didn't really know what that meant, but maybe it'll make sense in the future. So we continued on, found more skeletons, continued on, no hallways. And then we saw we have an elf sneaking forward, meeting I believe it was a bugbear. And then there was a whole fight, and we fought a lot of bugbears and a lot of goblins. There was like a moonbeam placed in the doorway, and so many goblins burned. Maybe like 20 goblins got just lit on fire as they tried to pass. That was pretty great. But when one of these bugbears died, its head exploded, and out came a little brain with legs and a tongue. And we tried to kill them fast, but one of them did manage to make Jurgis, the Minotaur, brain dead. So that was unfortunate, especially because we didn't actually find really much of any treasure. So this whole affair was really not worth it. For Jurgis, certainly, but then again, he can't really be sad about it right now. So that's how that went. After that, we decided to go back because again, Jurgis was brain dead, and everyone could kind of go for an ale or something after that little adventure. So I think that's pretty much where we are, coming back upstairs.
Yes, indeed. As I described at the end of the last session, as you are hauled back up of the Yawning Portal, into the Yawning Portal, there is japes and hoots and cheers for you coming back alive. And there's a lot of faces that seems surprised and just shocked that it is the Minotaur who seems to have been going down. And there seems to be a lot of bets being collected, and some people are very happy, and a lot of other people are quite scuffed that they lost money on this bet. How you are, however, more or less ignored. The first interesting and curious looks to see if you are indeed carrying vast amounts of treasure seems to sort of you don't seem to really. So everyone sort of shrugs and go back to talk about their own and maybe start placing new bets. Who is putting names on my on my tables? Excuse
It
me.
wasn't me.
Hmm.
That's all.
Ejected for
I
violating
mean,
personal property.
Yes. What do you do as you scramble up?
Tavern
Um,
shoulders Jurgis' like bulk again, healing him to full with the power of lay on hands, and fully looks like he intends to like cart the body off and out of the tavern.
Beldis puts a hand on Tavern's shoulder and says, "Wait." And he will go, leave Ryan behind to watch, and he will go over to Obaya Uday, if the shield guardian lets him pass, that is.
As you approach, the shield guardian's head quickly swivels towards him, and you can see the little points of light or whatever is inside of it, almost narrow, and then they widen again, and he takes a half step back to allow you to pass towards.
Drop kicks you down the fucking yawning portal again.
Spin kick into the no. He'll step back a little bit.
Alright. He will doff his plate helm as he walks.
You hear it says, "Welcome, customer."
From what, the shield guardian?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a bit perturbed, but we'll forge onward. Bow before the lady in front of him and say, "Miss Uday, I have heard about your services."
Obaya O'Day, who has been sitting writing in a ledger of some kind, she puts down the pen carefully and closes the book, and she turns towards Beldis and says, "Ah, yes, Master Forgesworn, I have seen you in the tavern, but not had the pleasure." She smiles slightly. "What can I do for you?"
Well, I will speak plainly, lass, for I am not one with a silver tongue. Our friend here, first expedition down, well, Intellect Devourer seemed to have drained him of whatever he had. I would ask if perhaps you would find a way to assist him. We could wait, but no doubt you have heard of my travels, my predicament, and I do not have that time.
She nods. "I am well aware of your plight, Master Forgesworn. Certainly, I can take a look at your companion over there, if you would bring him over to me, please." The shield guardian starts to move, but she makes a motion and he stops.
Beldis will look over to Terran beside Jurgis and give a beckoning motion. Points at the two of them.
Terran like flares his nostrils, but begins to shoulder Jurgis over.
Snapping Blood will follow suit.
We'll put him here. Ta-da!
Obaya O'Day.
Full HP, but entirely rendered stupefied for the power of it.
She nods towards you as you approach, and she says, "Greetings all. I take it your first expedition was a challenging one," as she sort of peers towards Jurgis.
Yes, no doubt.
Hmm. She moves closer. She like puts up a hand, in front of his eyes, see if the eyes follow around. She pulls down, like opens his mouth a little bit, looks inside.
Drooling.
Yeah. She then quickly slaps him like across the face.
Okay.
And when he gives no reaction whatsoever, she nods. And she says, "Well, I am afraid that your friend's mind is indeed wiped. It is possible that long rest would allow him to recover. It depends on how strong he is mentally." She sort of looks the Minotaur up and down. Although Minotaurs are not known for it, he's a rare specimen. She looks over to Beldus, but I suspect you do not want a purely bed rest recommendation.
Yes, indeed, you are quite shrewd.
I can perform the ritual to remove the grip of this alien influence on his mind, certainly. Such a ritual invokes rather powerful magics and is costly. Do you have a means of payment?
Beldis will think for a moment and say, I do not have coin, however, perhaps I could entice you in a trade.
Her eyebrows shoot up and says, "My dear Master Forsworn, I am a cleric of the god of trade. It is what I do. Sit, please." She indicates like across from her.
Yes. He's too fat to sit straight across from her.
You
I
don't have
mean,
to snap the grid. You can.
Yeah. Tavern moves Yorgis' body like away from, so it's not like slumped between them, and puts him in a chair.
Just slump him into a chair.
And he actually doesn't feel like sitting and listening into this either. This seems like private time, so he's going to join Yorgis by the fire.
Beldis will sit down, plop the helm beside him on the top of the table, and face it towards Abaya.
Yeah, she's sitting. Her hands are folded in front of her on the table on top of the ledger. The coin of Joaquin that is festooned upon her turban gleams in the firelight as she looks expectantly at you.
Beldis steeples his fingers and takes a sharp intake of breath. He's not well versed in the speech aspect of life, but he does what he has to do. Miss Uday, I do not have the coin, and nor would I presume to offer myself in debt. You are a woman that deals with many people, and as such, I believe it is important to give you something of use, or at least something that would, give you a good idea of my good intentions here. He kind of wraps his fist against his plate and says, "This armor, mundane. I'm sure you're not used to dealing with such things regularly and prefer with the magical aspect. However, this has been forged by myself, and I can attest to its quality. If I give this to you in exchange, if it does not cover the ritual, I will put this forward as a security to give you the rest."
She cocks her head a little bit to the side and says, "Well, Master Forgesworn, do you then suggest that you would go unarmored back down into the pit?"
He shakes his head. "I would not presume to be so foolish. However, I would have to take on armor of a lesser protection, surely. Otherwise, there would be no value in this trade. I would propose an armor that would suitably cover me, but I would leave that up to you and how you decide that this, how the balance of trade here is preserved."
She looks up and down the armor very appraisingly. May I see your gauntlet?
Yes, you may.
She,
He takes it off and hands it over to her.
she looks it over, inspects it quite carefully, and she says, "It is certainly battle worn, but the craftsmanship is very solid and a dwarven make, which is interesting for many potential buyers." He looks up and down. It looks old. When was this forged?
100 years ago.
Her eyes like light up a little bit, and she says, "Oh, was this when your hall fell, perhaps?"
Yes, indeed. It was forged not a week before.
Hmm. So an armor that has seen an historical battle, although not one that a lot of people recognize. It does have some interesting value to it, certainly. She looks the gauntlet up and down and then hands it back to Beldas and says, "Master Forgeborn, I will be as frank as I can. It would certainly be possible for me here to um, stiff you out of as much as I could. I can see the desperation in your face, and there is a part of me that urges myself to take advantage of it. However, I am also here in good faith, and as such, she looks the armor up and down. If you are inclined to sell me or trade me the armor, I could provide the ritual for you." Um, she thinks, "I'm afraid I do not have much mundane equipment to trade you myself, but perhaps a little bit of gold coin from me could allow you to buy a more mundane armor out on the markets in the city.
Beldas nods.
That way, I have acquired a dwarven full plate of some historical interest that I can, if I so deem it necessary, sell to a collector for roughly the yes, roughly a fairly good price, I should think."
Then we would have a deal.
She smiles and nods and says, "Yes, I will provide you with the ritual itself. The component costs." She like flips through her ledger and starts writing something. And for the work itself, I would estimate the cost of it all to 450 gold pieces. On top of that, I am willing to put up another 100 gold pieces for you personally. I would then get the armor, and you would get a 550 gold piece value from me. I think that is more than fair."
I would agree.
She nods. "Yes." Um, she writes something in the book and starts rummaging around a small satchel she has next to her on the thing. Can I get a let's see here? Can I get a thievery? What would be the most? I'm looking for like a street. Is there streetwise check in 5e? I am forgetting.
No.
All right, let me think here.
Like,
Yeah, yeah. Way to simplify things, wizards.
Yes. Well, give me a thievery check then from Snapping Branch as she is listening into this conversation.
What is a thievery check?
Uh,
That perception, stealth? I don't
Perception,
know.
maybe?
Perhaps using proficiency with your thieves' tools.
Intelligence then with proficiency.
Intelligence with proficiency. Sure. What am I rolling for? Let's ask it that way.
Well, I'll tell you when you roll.
Okay, that's fair. With proficiency, that's +5.
Okay. The Snapping Branch realizes that the price of a full plate, like if you sold it, even if it was dwarven make, like to sell it, she's paying overprice for it. Snapping Branch is pretty sure. Not exactly sure why she would do that if she is a cleric of trade. But she is certainly paying above market price for a used plate mail. That much is clear.
Okay.
Yes. If you have insight or similar,
I do have insight. I do want some insight on this woman because that's strange. That's not a businesswoman approach.
no, it isn't really. You get the feeling that there's something that she's not telling. Certainly, she is much more magnanimous in this in this trade than a cleric of Wokin normally would be, at least from the the general consensus of these of the priesthood. They certainly are nickel and diming a lot of almost everything they do, and they are very interested in balanced trade. So if she's paying overprice, seemingly for this, she must be thinking that she's investing into something else.
Okay.
So I suppose at that, Beldus would reach his arm over the table to shake her hand if that's what she does. He's a bit awkward. He doesn't know how to like posit himself in conversation, so he just like sticks his hand out across the table. It's a typical dwarf thing to do. He figures,
She will reach out and take his hand and give it a firm shake,
at
and
at
then she will turn the ledger around towards him and her hand over the pen and say, "Sign here, please," and indicate a line.
yes. Can he read it quickly, like
Yes.
before?
It seems to be a statement saying that you are selling her the plate mail for 100 gold pieces and the ritual required to restore your friend.
Okay. As he signs it, like looking down at the ledger, Belda says, "Miss Uday, Clan Forgeshorn will not forget this goodwill.
She smiles.
We live long lives."
You sure do, Master Forgesworn. You sure do.
I'll
Now,
pass back the ledger.
she takes it and then closes it carefully. She hands over a small pouch containing 10 platinum pieces to Beldus.
Mm.
And then she says, "I shall give you a little while to get out of the armor then. And before you and your friends head down again, if you do find any magical relics or other mysterious artifacts down there that you do not wish to keep yourselves, remember that I am willing to pay rather well for them. I have strict orders to buy at certain prices, but I am sure I will be a good source for revenue for you if you so desire."
Belda nods and says, "I don't think this will be the last for quite a while that we will speak."
Well, good fortune to you, Master Forgesworn, and to your companions. I look forward to see your exploits.
Nods.
Now,
You-
I shall prepare the ritual up in my room for your friend. If you can bring him there within 1 hour's time, we shall begin.
nod as he's taken off the armor, squished in it. He'll leave it here with him, and he will nod and take his leave.
The shield guardian will walk forward and like pick up the armor and stuff it into a sack.
I think this is the first time Beldus has not worn his armor around the rest of us. He's like adamantly insisted on wearing it every day he's come here to the yawning
Yeah.
portal, right?
When you look at him without his armor on, at his age, looking at his face, you would think, "Huh, it's pretty scrawny looking wizard." But no, he's pretty ripped. He's been in the forges for a long time before he became what he is now.
He's our buff wizard.
Yeah, he's He's not frail and he's not weak. He is a dwarf and strong. So
The buffest of dwarf wizards you've ever seen.
Taryn like rotates his head, like while sitting by the fire to look at like Velas and the Shield Guardian. He nods
Yeah.
approvingly.
it's
He
like
knows Veldis isn't a wizard. That's not how wizards work.
he fixes his sleeves. They're a bit caught up from being under the armor, and will say to the others, "It is done. If you and I, Tavern, can bring Yorgos up to Miss Uday, she will perform a ritual to restore him to his, well, original state."
That was a very noble thing to do, and I, in turn, have to say that I feel dreadful about this situation because surely those services can't go cheap. And while I enjoy showing a certain wealth, I'm afraid I can't quite back that up as much as I would like. Those expenses would. Thank you for doing that for someone who you've barely met.
Bill just shakes his head. You have all chosen to come with me. That already gives a certain amount of respect from me, and given my situation, I'm sure Yorgos will understand my haste. I only wish that he is well, and hopefully he still wishes to continue. He will look down on himself and say, if you could, well, do it in my stead, I wish to purchase something to cover me before we go down again. Yeah, so Ellis will go buy some stuff in the markets outside, I guess, while
Certainly.
Sude gets sorted out.
As Beldis leaves, Taryn looks over at Snapping Branch and Elrond and says, I was going to say that you two could leave, but I imagine you both have rooms here, so it's not as if you're going very far anyway.
And not rooms in this particular building. I live in the city. I usually head back home. It is a little bit more comfortable, to say the least.
He, having clearly forgotten, he says, right, of course. He like shakes his head, imagining like what all sorts of stupid things that nobles do with their time.
Halloran will just watch the conversation between the two of them, and as it ends, he'll say, I do have rooms. Yeah. I will retire there until we return after Yorgos is feeling smarter.
Aaron says, I do not imagine we'll be returning again today.
He shakes his head and says, no, I would presume not. I cannot imagine that the ritual will take a short amount of time, and I'm sure Yorgos will feel disconcerted once he has his brain back.
He'll probably want some time to think about whether he even wants to be back down there again.
I imagine he will. He speaks of that god of his enough.
He does seem like a fairly determined fellow. I don't think this, in retrospect, at least minor setback will dampen his motivations too much.
Well, see how your personality might change after what happened to you happened to him.
Oh, I could not imagine to go through what he went through, but well, it would be a shame to lose him.
He like rotates his head to like look at Tim Branch, just like, you. He like inhales a bit, he like lifts his hands as if he's like gathering himself. Try to put this politely. Snapping Branch. This is the lot of an adventurer. Realize, right? Sometimes adventurers don't make it through the adventure.
I am not a child. You do not have to address me as such. I What is your point?
This may not be the first or last time. Well, probably is the first time, but certainly not going to be the last time you encounter a situation like this.
Oh, I am absolutely aware of the fact. I just want to make sure that I am not like certain other people in my circles who go on similar adventures, paying absolutely no mind to the state that their companions, or in their expeditions, really, servants, end up with at the end. I do not want to be like that, yet I do want to stay optimistic. Hence why I would be saddened by any further obstacles of this kind. However, I will stay optimistic that we will find a way to overcome them. The point of doing this whole adventure as a group is that we support each other. If one of us, well, would fall during this expedition, it would not only be a great loss, it would also, well, it would be a great loss. I usually work alone. This, quite frankly, is the first time I'm trying something like that. And I am still enjoying the thought of cooperation. I just want to point out that I would be saddened if he would not continue traveling with us.
You should not be saddened by that, but gladdened that he would have the ability to even make that choice.
I suppose you have a point there.
And Tavern lets out a soft smile and rotates his head away from Snapping Branch.
I do think, however, that all of us are fairly adamant about making this adventure, and any decision made to stop would not exactly be a decision made with, well, facts and reason. It would be a sign that something very bad has happened. So if he does decide to continue, that should be a thing to be celebrated, as he has in fact not changed.
Snapping Branch, it's not as if the Undermountain is going anywhere. The Mad Mage isn't going to pick it up and carry it to the other side of Faerun. Probably.
Who
Assuming
knows
he
what
already hasn't.
who
Point
knows
being,
what that crazy mage is going to do next.
there have been many adventurers who have gone in before us, and there will be many after us. If Jurgis changes his mind, then there will always be another person to join.
Well, don't confuse my optimism and outgoing behavior for naivete, is all I'm suggesting. I'm very much aware of the nature of things.
Taryn stands up from the chair and says, "All right then, you can help Beldus shoulder Yorgos up to the room. While he may have asked for me, I do not think he needs it. But you have expressed an interest, so you should do it. I'm going home."
Uh, Certainly, I can do that.
"Wonderful. Have a pleasant evening." Walks over to Yorgos, pats his shoulder a few times, and then walks out.
You too.
Let's see. What is Terran's passive perception? 13. Okay.
13.
All right. As he walks out, he catches. It's not much really. It's barely he notices it, but he catches a fairly sour look from a woman across the tavern. The one sitting over here. She seems to be following him with her eyes, and her face tells that she's not very pleased to see him for some reason. If she notices that he glances, she will quickly, break eye contact and resume talking to her companions.
He will rotate his head insofar as he probably thinks it's the cleric of Timora, like giving him like the evil eyes again. She is not the cleric of Timora. Because that's what he figured, like, who might end up offering their services here, and that's why he would be like, no, Jurgis goes with me back to the fucking we're not gonna deal with her.
No, she is a rather pale woman. She does seem like she hasn't been out in the sun much, or maybe she is missing pigment or some such. Her hair is white and raven black in different areas, and she is clad in some sort of holy vestments. Perhaps he's not quite sure. He cannot discern from here exactly, like if that is the case. But yeah,
on the other side of the fucking pit,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he like stops his stride, but he definitely like slows down to look over. Waterdeep is a cosmopolitan city. Fucking everyone's invited in, and Durnan, adventure sorts. You're all welcome so long as you pay them.
Oh yes.
Sure, that looks like. He briefly glances over, probably like an adventuring group of some kind.
Seems to
He
be the
knows
case.
how they are.
They seem to have a map in front of them and pointedly, very excitedly at it.
Oh yeah. So they're undoubtedly on the track for great riches. He's not going to sit and wait around to hear about the catastrophe they'll undercounter. Yep, he's out of here. People looking at him in an unfriendly manner. Shakes his head.
Back in my day.
The spell plague changed people, man.
They all became a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah. Well, unless anything else happens, Beldus will return before the hour.
We'll see. Does His Highness Moonstar do anything specific in the tavern while the others are doing stuff?
Yeah, he's actually gonna do what he normally would do, and is sit at a table. Gonna sit in this seat, and he's going to order a drink, and he's just going to observe the tavern until night.
All right then. Snapping branch. Anything in particular while you wait for Beldus to come back, or do you just chill by the fire?
She'll probably just chill by the fire. Just take the seat that the grumpy dwarf has vacated.
Yep.
Talk to Yorgos about like random stories that she has, just talking about whatever she did or something, just to fill the silence.
Yes.
Maybe he listens. Maybe he can listen. Who knows?
After Jorgis is healed, he looks at Snapping Branch. You will live a weird life.
Oh yeah.
I remember everything. Yeah. There are quite a few, looks and glances over to Jorgis, who's like drooling in the chair, and there's some fingers being pointed, and people are. There's some mocking laughter going on from time to time for sure over poor Jorgis's fate. But before long, Beldus will return.
Yes. Well, considering who's left, all right. Well, you'll see him come in, no longer wearing his clothes, but well, yes, obviously wearing his clothes, but over that, sorry, he has swapped his plate for chain, a noticeable decrease in protection, as anyone looking at the armor would tell, but he seems quite unfazed. In fact, he seems quite purposeful, and will stride over to Snapping Branch, looking a little bit confused, and will say, Tavern isn't here. Did he leave?
Well, he did leave. I'm not entirely sure why. We had a little talk where I expressed my genuine concerns for Yorgos here, and also the fact that I do not want to see any of you as people to be replaced should one be unavailable. And then he told me that I should be the one helping Yorgos instead of him.
Beldus lets out a chuckle and says, yes, well, dealing with my kind, you'll get that. If you don't mind, if you can catch an arm, I will lean him on me. And, we'll get him up there.
The real reason Terran loves because he didn't think he actually needed to fucking help, and Bildus was just being polite.
Eldus is built like he could just punch a hole through the door if he needs to.
I could just piggyback this dude, but
He's being polite.
Terran's like, this is like a polite, like gesture, but this is supposed to be an intimate moment, like this situation. I don't want to intrude on this. I'm out. Having wants to intrude, she can be in.
Snapping Branch is from a social circle where every gesture is usually like an underhanded insult, in a sense. Well, maybe not insult. That's a harsh word, but you know,
there's an ulterior motive behind
it's
everything.
a bunch of people trying to one up each other with wordplay and such. So she may always assume the worst there.
Why did Terran say no and leave me with this? What could it mean?
What
Does he want
sinister
me
plot?
to break my back? Yeah.
All right, you lead Jurgis up the stairs. As you enter the room of Obaya Uday, it is set up. There are ritual candles lit. There is a big circle that has been drawn in the middle of the room. There are incense burning in a censer bearer in a corner. She instructs you to put him down in the middle of the circle, and then please leave the room as she needs to concentrate to beseech the god of trade to honor the deal and grant sanctum to this poor, wretched soul before her.
Yes, Beldus will do so. And as he leaves the room, he will mutter a quick prayer to Morden for his aid in this endeavor.
Yeah. Yes. As you close the door, you can hear Obaya Day. There are small bells being tolled. There is singing going on as you go down the stairs. She's certainly not quiet in this work, and even though it doesn't really reach down to the busy common room up there, it can quite clearly be heard that something's going on in one of the rooms. Yes. Put Jurgis over here. So what do you do after that?
Did she say how long it was going to take?
She is not sure. That depends on the mighty will of Joaquin. But she will come down when it is ready.
I think Beldus would like to. Is it like, are the rooms in like long corridors? Are they like,
Yes.
how are they?
There's a circular corridor like around the common room here with a railing, and
Yes.
the rooms are on the ring of it. So there's like an indoors balcony sort of looking down into the hole from the upper floor.
Right, and
there are in total 4 floors up to the yawning portal, I believe.
all right. So the rooms are basically you walk out your room and you're basically in
The
there
common
already.
room, yes.
Yeah. Beldus would like to sit basically not directly outside, but as close as he can, just in case. You never know, something might happen. And we will say to Snapping Branch, because he doesn't want to just go complete silence to be rude, and he will say, well, lass, I'm about to say a few. Keep vigil for Moradin, so he helps. I will be a bit quiet, not my usual self. You can stay, or you can do whatever you wishes yourself to do.
Oh, I will most certainly stay as well. I wanted to ask something while we're at it. I assume you won't exactly be in the mood to answer questions while you do your thing.
Yes, ask away.
Why do you think she overpaid you so heavily for the armor you offered? The service she herself said would be approximated at 550 gold, and I pride myself in knowing the value of historic items, as that is sort of what I do. There's a bit of a discrepancy there.
Beldis raises his eyebrows. In the moment, I did not notice that, but if what you say is true, then let me think a moment. He taps his head, thinks, and says, well, I am from a clan that is of the Forge. We have many Forge clerics bound to Moradin. We make many, many pieces of equipment, and in fact, we have some that, well, most don't know about. Miss Uday here is from. I assume she comes here as part of something else, and so in helping me, I would assume that if. He pauses. When my clan is restored, that there will be well, uh, a relationship established that would benefit her and me. Scratches his head. I suppose that would explain it.
Snapping Branch nods slowly. Did she explicitly say that you would owe her a favor?
She
It
did
seems
not.
a very vague investment. Well, for our benefit, obviously. I worry, however, over other motives, but perhaps that is a little too paranoid. In the end, she is helping us quite a bit, and, well, maybe she just felt like doing the right.
Beldis thinks for a moment and then, like, slowly shakes his head while he's thinking and says, no, if she did this, then she has a very good reason. However, I don't think her intention is malicious. She did, well, she has helped beyond her ken for me, and as such, I would not hope to bear will against her in thought or in speech.
Oh, I absolutely agree. There's going to be enough opposition down in the depths that we do not need to make imaginary opposition up here.
Much agreed, Snapping Branch. You know, it would seem that among our merry group, you are the most. Pause for a moment. Approachable seems like such a harsh word, but easy to talk to, I would say.
Oh, it is a skill that I have much training in and focus on quite a bit. It does help if you can talk to people, certainly. And while my uh, status, as obvious as I like to make it, is often a reason for people to stay away from me, well, I don't see any reason for such a divide. I am a chaser of not necessarily objects or possessions or wealth, even if it's a useful thing to have for certain. I'm a chaser of stories. And stories do not differentiate between rich or poor or lucky and unlucky people. It's just every person has stories. So the more people I get to talk to, the more stories I may be able to chase.
He nods. His eyes kind of narrow a bit. He looks slightly concerned and says, now, well, lass, I wouldn't presume to tell you how dangerous this is. You know, when you're here, and, well, enough about that. However, if it's stories you are looking for, then uh, have you? Well, of course you've thought about other things, but this would probably be your choice. He scratches his head. I'm not making much sense, but just be careful, right? There are lots that have lost their lives down here for much less than, well, that. I am here because I am forced, and such. Well, I could not think of being here willingly or a choice. I'm just worried.
I suppose my perspective is difficult to understand, but there's a particular book I quite like to take some inspiration from when it comes to lifestyle and such. It essentially divides the potential life you can have in a few steps, usually 7. There's some covers who do 9, but I'm pretty sure those are just a strange reference to Tabaxi's connection to cats. A sick joke, really. A 7 is better. You, at the bottom, have the life of a terrible, terrible, wretched slave who has no safety, no certainty of anything, no possessions of anything. And at the top, you've got the emperors, the kings, with their hundreds and thousands of servants, their divine lifestyle where every wish and every need will be fulfilled immediately. Now, where do you think you find happiness on that scale?
Build a
Do you find it
scratches.
at the bottom where you have no certainty, danger always, or at the top where you have absolute certainty and no danger? I will answer that question for you. Find it in the middle where there's some danger. And that is why I do what I do.
It would seem then that you have already balanced the risk versus reward here, so I will not presume to coddle you. However, you have given me a lot to think about.
As I've said to your kin, do not confuse my optimism for naivete. I am aware of what I'm getting into.
No doubt. I have seen your skills in action, at least some of them. No doubt you have more, and you are quite capable. I should not worry. It is just an old dwarf. And he will say, now, I will start my vigil, so to speak. You can ask me questions, however, I will not respond until I have finished the verses. And so
Okay.
Beldis will pray.
Yes.
Pray for his friend Jurgis.
All
More
right
than
then.
forge his mind anew.
There you go. Yes. The ritual does take a while, it seems. But, after an hour or so, the it is as if Jorgus suddenly wakes up. Someone has like thrown a bucket of ice cold water over his body and a like a glowing spear right into his mind, and suddenly he is just he's back from oblivion. He don't remember much of anything probably, but here suddenly he is surrounded by incense. He does see that Obayade, does he recognize her? Probably.
I mean, he's been in here for a while,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, no, but if he feels a bucket of water over him and a hot spear in his brain, he'll do what he would do, and that's to jump up immediately from what he presumes is probably his bed,
Mm-hmm.
and like swing his arms around and sort of look around, trying to get some orientation of what's going on.
Obayade is seemingly covered in sweat from the exertion, and she will put out his arms and says, "Peace, Jorgus, peace. I am Obayade. I am a cleric. I am a friend. Please," as like he waves his arms frantically around, maybe screaming.
Yeah, totally fine.
She will try to calm him. Does he allow himself to be calmed?
He probably sees that she's not like has any weapons or anything,
She does not.
and for a moment it's like, well, then it'll be really easy to kill her. But then no. Tempest says that you should never fight those who that the point is to war against those who won't defend themselves. So, so he looks, and then he sort of, in the teaching, sort of as his intelligence is coming back, lace away the savage ways of his kind, and sort of like begins to just breathe, like hold his head, like look around, like at all the incense and the candles and whatnot. He's like, "Ooh."
She will say, "You are in my room at the Yawning Portal. Your friends brought you back here. I am afraid that you have been, well, your mind was wiped out. I have brought it back at the request of your friends." She looks around and says, "I believe they are waiting outside for you."
Perhaps at that you hear a knock on the door from Beldis, who's heard the screams like, "Hello."
Bellis also hears something very heavy moving quickly up the stairs.
Okay, he looks.
The shield guardian seems to be coming up at some speed towards the room.
Okay, Beldis is
Jump out the
gonna.
way.
Beldis not gonna get in the way of that. So let the shield guardian go first.
Yes, the shield guardian approaches, as I said, at some speed. Obaya Uday inside the room seems to notice that something is coming, and she lowers her head. She whispers something that Jurgis can't quite hear, and outside you see the shield guardian immediately just stop, and then turn around and walk back down again.
All right, then Beldis will knock.
She says, "Come in, please."
Is Snapping Wrench still with him at this stage?
Yeah, probably. I think she would have basically been quiet for like a little bit as you do your prayers, and then launched into some long-winded story about one of the items that she's showcasing in a museum that her father acquired, like from the east of Fae, which is actually just a very pretty stone. Then he traveled over the world and gave it value. At least that's what he's told people. And then he sold it, and then later he bought it again from someone else for less and made a lot of money that way. And just yeah.
Oh, Beldis is happy to listen. Cool. All right. Well, he will beckon her and go in.
Yes,
Presumably seeing Jurgis freaking out.
yeah, the room is heavy with smoke and incense. Obayode looks quite tired from the ordeal, and she says, "The deal, the bargain is complete. The blessed Lord of Trade has seen fit to bring your friend back. She looks at Jurgis. I believe you will find your equipment downstairs, and do try to be careful next time you go down there."
Yorgos is still just trying to, like, his eyes narrowed, looking about, like trying to remember just, what happened.
Yeah.
Beldis will walk over to Jurgis and bow to Abayude and say again, my gratitude. I cannot express it in words.
You expressed it in coin, my friend.
He smiles and nods. I will guide him.
Ooh. Again. Who is the Lord of Trade?
She looks around and smiles and says, "Joaquin is the god of trade, and so the lord of trade." She walks her head to side. You have not heard of him? Or her?
Again, he's feeling pretty bad right now. So he probably just like coughs a bit.
She shakes her head and says, "Perhaps at a later time I shall elucidate and explain more about my faith and my patron. But for now, Jorgis, you should probably get some food and have a rest."
Beldis nods. Says, "Yes, friend. Let us guide you to some rest and some some food. It has been quite a while since I've seen you, well, express yourself."
He grunts and sort of hold his head rearing slightly. The horns maybe coming dangerously close to hitting something. Well, I guess move down. He does not do well with headaches. It's a pain he doesn't really understand. It sort of hurts, but he doesn't have an injury.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense, really.
It's perhaps a bit surprising to Yorgos, like when Bells catches his hand, he has like surprising heft to it, like maybe expectations, but yeah, he could probably support Yorgos by himself, but
Yorgos doesn't really
He doesn't need it.
He hasn't. He hasn't. The wizard he has seen was a long time ago, and that was Halster. So his expectations of wizards like Beldus
Yes.
doesn't meet it. Beldus
Yeah.
is a warrior in his eyes. So kind.
Yes. It's, yeah, let's reintegrate Yorgos into the world.
Ugh. Grr. Groan.
Yeah, I think Beldus would basically over the course explain. However, he would probably leave out the details of the deal. He will just say that he has dealt with Misude and have had the ritual done.
Hmm.
Probably Snapping Raj might notice that pretty clearly, that details left out, but he wishes that. So for now at least.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, Yorgos will go get his stuff first and foremost. You know, check his halberd, and look to Beldus. Remember, Beldus repaired it, and he'll sort of give him like a broad smile and like even like groan a little bit more as he goes to get some food
Yeah.
Yes, there is food to be had for certain.
and something to drink. Probably something non-alcoholic for once. Just he
Oh,
already feels like kind of sick.
Yeah, Beldus holds up the coin that Yorgos gave to him and says, I think I'll get this one for you, friend.
Oh, it's fine. It's yours.
Beldus will buy from anyway. Give him 2.
there we go then. Yes, you can get certain food and stuff and drinks. It is a tavern after all, so there is no shortage of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
probably go to bed early. That's the plan.
yes.
Just sleep it off.
I don't blame him.
As darkness falls outside, someone is approaching Elrond at the table.
Okay. Look up from his drink and he'll look to the man and say, "How may I help you?"
Ah, yes. Well, yes. I am called Kellum. Might I sit at your table?
He looks Kellum up and down.
He seems to be a fairly small man, slight of frame. He moves with a lithe grace. If Elrond didn't know any better, he would guess that he's like a dancer, maybe, or something. Maybe a noble. He has there's some affectation going on here. That is not quite certain where to place. He is dressed as someone who's not from here, certainly. Probably southward somewhere, Kalimshan, Schult, something like that, perhaps. The dialect he cannot place either, really. But he looks, he's smiling towards him, and he is like indicating a chair next to Elrond to see if he can sit down.
Yeah, Elrond will like gesture his hand towards the chair, not saying anything.
Right. Tell him to sit down. He will quickly order a glass of wine for himself and for Elrond. And then when the wine has come to the table, he will take a sip, and then he will lean forward and he will say, I must confess that I am a little bit curious. Your group went down into the dungeon earlier today, yes?
Yes.
Would you mind telling me what you found during your first excursion? Because you see, he like has a hand back to the others to the table on the other side of the tavern. You see, me and my own party is setting off tonight And while they are filled with grand bravado or grim determination, as it might be, I am a more cautious sort, and I am curious to what you found.
Aran will sort of narrow his eyes towards Elim and says, we didn't find very much except for traps and creatures. Typical
Yes.
for the dungeon, and I believe that the Mad Mage is inclined to change the dungeon. So whatever I tell you now may be moot already.
He nods. It might be, but it also might be helpful. I am sure he is not as fickle as change everything in an afternoon. Surely, the traps you say. Describe, please.
He'll shrug and say, what traps we encountered, we disabled.
Nods.
So me telling you about them is moot.
He looks a little bit disappointed, but takes another sip of wine. And monsters, you said?
He shrugs. Typical creatures, goblins.
Possessors and goblins, eh? Yes, that is certainly typical. He sort of glances towards the chasm.
He'll continue looking at Kellen with actually pretty much the look that he has in the picture. The calculating coldness.
Callum sort of puffs out his cheek a little bit and says, well, no friendly advice for fellow beginners then. Sad to hear it. Well, if you are not inclined to talk to me, I shall not bother you further. I wish you a good evening. He picks up the wine glass and then walks off.
You won't stop him.
He will seemingly rejoin his companions at his table, and they will. When he comes back, you notice that he shakes his head, and the others, they shrug, and you hear something like, "I told you." The dwarf seems to grumble something. You're not sure. You can't really read lips, but you're pretty sure he says "damn elves" or something to that effect.
Dwarves are so racist, that's what I'm learning.
All right then. If that is indeed the end of the evening, you can all take a long rest.
Yeah.
Yay, I can heal my 4 hit points.
I can get my
Look at that.
I told
One
you
spell slot.
multiple times that I healed your 4 fucking hit points.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't
It's
know.
true, yeah, he healed that. Multiple fucking times, Malachi.
You know, I
Uh,
didn't heal my token that time.
I will also point out for posterity to stop people from posting in future comments. Yes, I'm aware that Joaquin is a female deity. I'm just tired.
Oh, they're probably already written, and now they're
Yeah,
like,
I know,
do
I
I
know.
delete the comment?
It's
Do
like,
I-
God damn it!
She is,
I mean, really, when you have a deity portfolio, you can be whatever you want, right?
it's true.
I mean,
so
even
long as
the
it's in that
genders, really.
portfolio.
Many aspects.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're
she's,
also the god of all of the gods, so
That's right.
she can be whatever you want.
You are the god of fiction itself, so
Exactly.
do whatever you want.
That's right. Take that, commenters.
Yeah, you stop that timer right now, commenters.
Yeah,
on
you.
this
I
video.
see-
You,
see
you
there.
stop. I know you're doing it.
I heard it. I heard it.
Press that backspace. Keep
I
going.
heard that
Keep
angry
going.
mechanical keyboard.
Yes. The Lady of Trade, the Merchant Friend, the Lady of Gold, and the Coin Maiden, etc., etc. Yeah, you can all take a long rest. Those of you who are staying in the common room in the evening will notice that the fine fellows seem indeed to be going down into the dungeon a couple of hours later. There are hoots, there are bets being placed. Their names are written below yours on the scoreboard. You know also notice that you have like an X next to you, probably
Mhm.
signifying that you have made a delve and come back alive.
Yay.
Can I put a bet on?
You can, yes.
I want to bet that this guy here
Yeah.
is the first to die.
First to die. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
put 5 gold on it.
All right, sure.
What's the odds?
We'll put that down. Well, we'll see. It's sort of formulating around here.
Where's this? Hang on.
I know what that means.
Custom valuable in
Around
that.
the collective consciousness is determining the bet.
Mhm.
5 gold pieces.
He
I
needs
mean,
to
I think this
simulate
guy, he looks dapper. I think he's gonna make it.
He's gonna make it, yeah, for sure.
Callum's gonna make it. Okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm not here because I'm sleeping. So otherwise, all of Jurgis' money would be gone.
Right,
All right.
so,
What's his
so I
dumb
have
name?
5 gold.
Aleph.
Durnan picks 5 gold from Master Boonstar. That
Yep.
Haleth the Hale is the first one to die. He seems very hale.
I'll show you. This is actually on my map tools. Not my map, my Hero Labs. I have placed in the gear section. Custom item.
Nice.
Mhm.
It's a bet bond.
Awesome. Any more bets?
No.
I can't afford any.
I'm
Be-
not
Bel-
there.
Beldus has far more concerns on his mind than gold and betting and
Let me just wager my plate, but
Very well then.
They meet them weekend down there. I mean, you wouldn't want too many conflicted.
The fine fellows, ladies and gentlemen, as they descend
sexist.
down
Mm.
and disappear into the chasm.
it'd be a shame if we were to encounter them in a severely injured state and tipped the scales a bit to influence the betting.
Hannah, I put money on you dying first.
Yeah, they're all like bleeding out, and Elleran like walks among them and he goes, Eleth, I bet you would die first.
They were dead when I found them. No, you're alive. Silence. 5 gold earned.
I'm getting better. I
Yeah.
feel happy.
What do you mean I'm meant to be somewhat good? I don't know.
No, we'll see if they come up by the time that we go in tomorrow.
All right then.
As if they ever return.
Well, we could follow them and see what happened. Maybe they leave tracks and stuff. Clear some of the way, you know?
Yeah.
we pointed the skeleton away from the secret entrance, so maybe they won't find it. So
I mean, not that there was much great to find it there.
no, there was
not that
not
we
much
could
good
find.
to it. No, that's true.
We have
The less they
peasants.
see, the less chance they'll find something. So
No, I think there's plenty of dungeon now here for all.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
For sure. All right. Morning arrives. And the party can reconvene at their leisure. Breakfast is certainly served in the yawning portal for those who wish it. You will notice that Priestess Uday is back at her table, seemingly refreshed from a good sleep and a good rest. And everything else seems to be proceeding as normal.
Jurgis will approach the priestess
Right.
in the morning after his breakfast. You know, while the others are doing something else. You know, it's a little discreet.
All right. She will put down her pen from her ledger and turn towards him and says, "Good morning, Jurgis. How do you feel?"
Better. Actually, I feel fairly good. Like I need to stretch or something.
She smiles.
Yeah. It's been a whole night and I haven't fought anything. Figure it's about time. That said, I understand from, well, the lack of conversation that something happened with this ritual. What exactly is this trade was spoken of?
She smiles and says, "Well, it was a business deal between me and Master Forgeworn. He and I came to an accord, and I upheld my end of the bargain. I'm afraid I am not really at liberty to talk about my business engagements." Uh,
He huffs once. So if it was to happen again, what sort of I
well, I am capable and willing to perform such services for your group again, should the need arise. Compensation is needed, however, as the ritual is, well, quite taxing on me and on my faculties. It also involves a not insubstantial material cost, rare ingredients, materials, incense, and such things must be burned and sacrificed in the proper order. And a lot of those ingredients I import from my homeland of Chult. They are quite expensive.
Hmm. Well, he sort of looks around as if he's a little embarrassed, lowering his voice and says, "This happened on the first way down. I can't say I would really know how to prevent it in the future, so perhaps if I were to find something of value, I might hold on to it, or maybe even you could hold on to it in the future for me, so that if I were to return, it would sort of already have been."
She nods. Certainly, Yorkus. Certainly, I can set up an account for you in my ledger. She like pats the big book. If you bring me items or treasure, I can keep them here for safekeeping. Certainly, I perform this service for some others as well.
He nods. Oh, that's good. Yes, well, I suppose I will have to go get some treasure then. So looks down to the hole,
She
frowns
smiles.
slightly. Not that it has been very lucrative so far, but
Well, between you and me, I believe that the first level is. I mean, it is the most traveled one. I imagine a lot of the obvious secrets at this point are probably found. However, there are plenty of, as I understood it, goblins and other creatures down there, and I am sure you can find valuables still. She smiles slightly.
he sort of side eyes as he hears goblins. Says, "Yes, sir, goblins."
And if you encounter the creature that did this to you, or more of those creatures, again, yes, perhaps trying to destroy them quickly is a good idea.
He nods.
Otherwise,
Yes,
this might be quite costly for your group, I'm afraid.
he nods. What sort of cost was it to? If I were to leave wealth with you so that it could be done or removed again, what sort of?
The She smiles slightly at him and winks and says, "The cost for the ritual would be 450 gold pieces."
He sort of looks at her. Oh, all right then. Huffs again and moves. He doesn't have that in his pouch. A good day to you then.
She nods, and good day to you, Jorgus. Good luck.
Yeah, he'll go back here and like huff and probably look at the others as if he's expecting them to come and get back down here, because he doesn't like 450. That's a lot of guard duty work. It's a lot of guard duty work, and he doesn't actually enjoy doing that so much. So, no.
Belus will see Jurgis come and call out to him and say, "Friend, how are you feeling, lad?"
Good, right, very poor.
Right.
Well, shall we go and change that?
Should not.
Oh well. I was going to ask if you wanted to. Well, never mind then. Let's go. It's like Belus had probably like prepared a like a talk. Be like, you don't have to go down, but if you want to, you know,
He looks
be
at him,
nice.
Bill is like weird as he's like a little shoulders. So looks to versus she was. Hmm. And he'll not continue talking that. He'll go. Look for the elf. He actually like. It's hard to recognize him because Laren mostly was out of his vision the whole time. So yeah, he's like, oh, there he is, Greenhorn Taylor. Good.
Eleran's sort of leaned back in his seat with his eyes closed. Seemingly just relaxing.
Durnan will slide over the drink to Tavern.
Taryn accepts it. His ritual most times he comes into the yawning portal over the years is to talk to Durnan about alcohol, because Taryn likes to make alcohol, so alcohol flavors and what people are drinking around Waterdeep these days, because he likes ideas and inspiration.
Certainly.
Nothing of, actual consequence, but it matters to him, damn it.
It's his hobby.
That's right. It's what he does.
Yeah, well, Durnan is a fairly surly sort, but after if you buy a few drinks from him, he can talk certainly, and tell about the hottest new trend, which is a new spice that has been imported from Kalimshan. That seems to be it is called cinnamon, and it is currently all the rage as
Is it like sweet? Is it tart? Like, what is a cinnamon?
it is fairly sweet and has a peppery, almost a little bit hot feel to it.
Have you heard about the cinnamon challenge?
Almost hot.
He will go on to describe and say that he has put out a feeler to procure a box of cinnamon so he can try it himself.
Good in hot wine.
He's sure there can be some good application for it here, certainly, especially now that the weather is getting colder.
Yeah, that sounds like it's something that could warm you right up. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. Taryn is enticed by this idea. Man, but if Durnan doesn't even have access to it, Taryn knows Durnan is much older than he looks. This yawning portal's been around in this damn city for a while.
Yes. How old was Taryn again?
Taryn is almost 200. He was born before the Thunder Blessing.
Right. And he came. When was the first time Taryn visited the Yawning Portal, or at least came to Waterdeep?
It's probably like the first meaningful instances he has of it would be like shortly around like the time of the spell plague, so it'd be like a century ago.
All right. Yeah. No. Durnan was definitely around back then.
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah. No. Durnan is indeed.
He knows the rumors about the secret to immortality that he supposedly found, like down there. No. Whether that's that or some other magic, there's plenty of magic around in Faerun that could make you not look like you're aging.
Oh, for sure.
Tavern certainly doesn't have any. Lord knows he doesn't have any of it.
Indeed.
Son
All
of
right
a-
then.
Hmm.
Yes. Nods conspiratorially as he plots the use of this fabulous new fad. He could raise the drink prices quite a bit with that.
That's right. You can allow folks to try something that they can't get anywhere else.
He nods slyly, gives a wink. Maybe we
Special
can-
experience.
Maybe we can get some people in here with actual money. He looks around in disgruntlement around the barroom.
I'm sorry, I couldn't bring the royal treasury with me.
And Tayrin says, well, if they already had money, then they wouldn't be adventurers wanting to go down there to the Underbelly. They'd be
Well,
reasonable.
Durnan like starts to say something and then just mutters and polishes the.
like shit, he's right.
This fucker. Smart ass.
Right. Like holy people, wisdom and
Tayrin nods sagely.
pulling his beard. Yes. All right then. Okay. Am I to understand that the party plans a second delve?
Yes.
I think we're good.
Have to
think
somehow
we're
earn
ready.
enough money so that when I die, I can not die.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
It's a future investment. But yeah,
I think
as Obayode said, if you have items that you want her to hold on to for, she can serve as a bank for you. Her room, she will tell you, is warded with powerful enchantments to prevent stealing and other things. It is probably the safest place in the entire tavern, except perhaps for Durnan's quarters.
All right. Fair enough.
Venturing down immediately will be a modest surprise for Tayrin because he didn't like. I mean, sure, like the Minotaurs are all like, "Fuck yeah, violence," but then when he hears that apparently this is the thing that we're all doing, he's like, "All right." He goes to put on his gear because he didn't. No reasonable person would wear that if they're not expecting to immediately go on another adventure.
That's fair.
Yeah, because unlike Beldus Forge Sword, gotta let the body breathe.
Hey, I'm in chain now. He's a bit more, airy.
I'm sure he wears that shit while he sleeps. Just like can't trust anyone. Who knows what might try to stab me?
You know,
just hugs his weapons.
who
in
knows?
bed.
Who knows, right?
Yes.
Who knows?
Shield as a blanket.
That's why the fertility rate of the doors was so low before the Thunder Blessing. All the doors fucking hugged their weapons and armor while they slept.
At least my armor won't betray me.
Tower shield between us. It's not gonna happen much there.
No. All right. Well, two quick things for transparency. I have changed my selection of spells after a long rest,
All right.
and I have Beldus will re-enchant Elrond's bow with the Blessing of Morden, so it continues to stay at +1 because it goes away after a long rest. So gotta keep refreshing it,
Okie doke.
and that's it.
Then down we go. You can copy your tokens as we go back to
Save mine just in
dungeon.
case. I'm scared.
Indeed.
You should be scared.
I'm
That's
always
the correct
scared.
answer. You're always wow. What? That's a bad life you live.
I get by.
Oh,
Sounds like you need some beefcake in your life.
It's fine, I have it. Don't worry.
Oh. See?
All right, let's go down before I say anything else. Incriminating.
It's a family show.
Sorry, guys.
Family show.
I hit 4 kids on YouTube. We gotta get $4,000 fine now. God damn it.
The FGC is gonna get you.
I thought that was how
Yeah.
you made it nowadays.
Have you mentioned
honestly.
kids? Now we're gonna have to get fined 42.
Oh, god
Okay.
damn it. God damn it.
Not suitable for advertising.
Your videos will not be on search engines.
No.
Can't trade in plate for that fine. So
What's the conversion rate?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Pure metal, whatever. I have no clue.
All right, I'm in the dungeon at least.
Let's
Awesome.
jump. I mean, go down. Sorry, let's not
All right,
jump
make,
in there.
make sure you deduct
Go.
the 1 gold piece. folks.
Yes, 1 gold piece to go down.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
If does
Oh,
Snapping
yeah.
Branch have a gold piece to spend?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just
Master
thinking
Silver
about
puts
my
his
living
weapon on the
expenses.
table.
And
Yeah, we have 100. We
Well,
have
I said-
we have 156 gold pieces to spend. If nothing else, if any of you should ever run out.
In a treasure pile.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Forgot we
Who's
had one.
carrying the treasure pile? Where is the treasure pile
Yeah,
currently?
where is this?
It's Terran actually keeps that in the Shrine of Illustrae.
All right.
Fair enough. Can't get in there. That's for sure.
All right.
So he has his private room, his
Mhm.
cell.
Yeah.
And it's,
Cell now,
Yeah,
like he's a fucking space marine.
yeah, exactly. So paladins are.
Blessed is the mind, too small for doubt.
Sigma blessed is rabbit body.
Sigma.
Yes, Gruba. It's one of my favorite Warhammer characters ever. It's Victor
great.
Saltfire. So good. Oh,
All right, let's go.
Cowardice is but for the heretic.
Copy to
Everyone,
level 1.
everyone down to the dungeon.
The level 1.
So these people didn't come back up, so they're either dead or have gone really far and still haven't.
The fine fellows have not come back up now, if you ask, before we go down.
Wow.
I mean, they left just last night, so like people can rest inside of dungeons. You know, they do that on occasion.
Yeah. So I said
Only
they're either
crazy
dead
people.
or have stayed here for a long time.
No, it's we have different definitions of long.
Just go down there. They're already eating goblins. Just living.
We've
Complete
assimilated.
Let's go to feral.
They found a roaring fire over here.
feral. So much grilled goblin.
Oh yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. Waiting for Malachi and
there.
Jink. There we go.
As we settle down here, Terran asks, Yorgos, where would you like to go?
Well, sort of huffs a little bit and says, I suspect. She sort of taps his head, wise words, that the upper levels have already had all the good stuff taken. We should probably try to find a way down. Now, if I remember correctly, mumbles, the other passages from that central room are going to be bad. Perhaps we should go down to the door we barricaded. That seems to be a way further in.
Darren nods his head. He's inclined to go along with what Yorgos wants here. Why I asked him.
Bella says, in the central room, there is a message. It won't take long this time. I have prepared myself. I wish to know what it says.
All right. Can I have some light? It's very dark further in.
Of course. Beldus will cast it wherever Yorgos wants, because last time he put on the tip of his weapon. If he
That
still
works
wants
great. I can wave it
Alright.
around. It feels great. Magical.
light, let there be light.
Whee! And then if I want to put out the light, I just put it in someone.
Stab someone. It's so good. Looks kind of cool. They all light up like a little body with see all the inside.
It's like a weird jack-o'-lantern.
It's like their
Hmm.
mouth twisted and like.
Just,
agony.
I love magic.
Did yesterday's incident awaken the real Yorgos? No one can say for sure.
It is certainly convenient, Yorgos. Yes.
Just seems like such a. I mean, I could kill 100 goblins, but I still couldn't repair his damn axe.
Bella smiles and says, "Well, after the forge, it took me 70, 80 years to learn how to use magic. It's not easy."
Once we are done with this place, so gestures around, I'll get my own dwarf to fix my stuff. But until then, I appreciate you. I really do.
Of course, my friend. Let us continue then. Onward for treasure.
Onward indeed. Let's go and see what new terrors the dungeon has for us in store.
To the intersection.
Yeah.
To
If,
the
if there's nothing new, that's where we're going. Oh man. How do I like permanently attach my owl to my face?
Was there as much fanfare
Just
when
like-
we go down the second time?
Not
Like
as
a-
much. The first one seems to be the most enjoyable, but people took notice certainly, and there's a tentative X being scrawled in a second build.
I wonder how the bets have changed. Like, will the
Yeah, I
Minotaur
know,
get
right?
it again?
Stop.
Is it better odds
Stop
now because
moving,
he's more
please.
cautious? Is it worse? Because
Stop moving.
Stop
Oh.
moving, please.
Yeah.
As we backtrack a little bit, as we get here, Snapping Branch notices that something is different at the intersection.
Mm.
There seems to be fresh blood here, and there is a peculiar stench of rot, perhaps.
Hmm.
It is hard to see as it's a staircase leading up, but it did not smell this bad when you were here last.
Well, she extends a hand, sort of behind her as like a stop, before in like a whispering voice sharing what she has noticed, before saying, "Let me take a look. Wait here, please."
Mm.
As she'll sneak forward a bit and see like where the blood came from.
All right.
Like, is it a blood trail or just a?
There's blood there's blood on this pillar specifically, like splashed up in a wave as if someone was cut, or something like that. When she looks around, can I get a stealth check?
You most certainly can. She's decent at that. Not today, however.
All right. And she moves here. A perception check, search for looking around.
Oh, that is something she can do. In theory. Okay.
Yes, there are blood splatters here. There's blood splatters here and here. There's a fair bit of it. She would guess that maybe there was a battle. A few creatures have died here, but there are no bodies. And as she thinks that, she notices movement above her
Okay.
as tentacles descend from the ceiling.
It's a dogger!
Oh,
I knew it.
vindication!
As something perched on top of the big pillar where the snake once was, sort of uncoils and reaches down towards her. Like is slithered like around the pillar.
Dun dun dun.
Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
look at that
crawlers.
face.
I'm not asleep.
It's gonna take you back to its nest with all the little carrion crawlers, yeah.
Look how many of
Alright.
them there are.
We go to initiative.
You know, is it wrong for me to think that carrion crawlers are unreasonably adorable? Like,
I mean, I think it's the big eyes. That's what does it.
Yes.
Big friendly eyes.
Big friendly eyes. They just want hugs.
You
That's
know,
what
if
it
you
is.
want to make them worse, give them human teeth. That's
Oh,
like
oh,
the
No.
worst.
everything that is not a human that gets human teeth is terrifying.
hot Valky. Hot, look at that.
Yes.
Thank you. This is a nice compliment.
Mhm.
Nice.
Oh boy.
I rolled like a.
I'm a mountain. I don't need to move.
Is that how that works?
I mean, you've only got mail
Well,
now.
We'll find out.
I mean, I move.
Alright.
Am I less of a mountain?
You're
Elrond,
just stronger.
you are over there.
I'm over here.
Yeah.
Man,
What does that mean?
Elrond's
No idea.
ability extends beyond the fourth wall.
Sight beyond sight. No, I would say that there is some movement up there for sure. Maybe Snapping Branch lets out a yelp or something to alert you to that something is afoot up there for sure.
All right. Fine by me. Elran, having prepared himself, see comment above, will actually speak a few words. Evoking some power from it, casting Zephyr Strike as a bonus action, of which he gets 30 extra feet of movement, and in the first round of a combat, he also gains another 10 foot of movement speed. So his movement speed is now 75 feet this round.
Goodness gracious.
So he will come all the way up.
That's a reasonable amount, yeah. Sure. That's how fast reasonable people move.
So he will come up all the way up here. And he will.
Are you sure you don't have to attack first before getting that bonus? That would be the way I read the spell.
Hmm?
Like, whether you hit or miss, your walking speed increases. So you have to attack first.
Once before the spell ends.
You give yourself advantage on one.
Oh, that's true, actually.
Yeah,
And
maybe. All right.
your walking speed. Yeah, you probably have to attack first. Yeah.
All right. 45 up here. Can I see any of them?
You can see Carrion Crawler 5, I would say. It is coiled like up around the pillar, high above, like up on close to the ceiling, but you can see it peek around.
All right. I'll take it. And then I'll shoot at it.
Yeah, you may.
Wrong button. Hang on.
Okay.
I need to just roll another. Roll again. Which I'll do automatic. Which I'll do manually.
You just rolled 2 1s.
I did. So 26 and 18. Maybe those hit.
Yes, that would hit.
So then the other one. So 14 damage.
14 damage. Oof. Arrow hits the Carrion Crawler, who hisses and like goop draws out of his mouth.
And then with my 30 feet, I'll like come back over here. Happy over here, behind the Minotaur.
Okay then.
That's me.
Carrion Crawler 5, who was so grievously wrongly injured. And he will crawl over here, like snaking around the pillars, then snaking down onto the floor, and then he will crawl forward. Let's see here. We'll go here.
I believe he enters my reach.
Yes.
Let me take a Hilbert. 5 damage.
5 damage. Yes, that certainly damages the Carrion Crawler. The Carrion Crawler, like, does that stop his movement?
No. He
Right.
can continue.
Then, as he moves there, gets a stab from the halberd. The Carrion Crawler will reach out its slimy tentacles towards Jurgis, trying to caress him with them.
Oh, he remembers bad tentacles. Oh. No.
Oh.
Oh god, my life.
As a hit, 4 poison damage, and you need to make a DC 13 con save.
And a con save. Oof, that's a bad
That's a
save.
failure.
Pretty good con save, but alright.
You are paralyzed.
And poison.
Paralyzed.
Jurgis.
The Carrion
Nice.
Crawler
Is there sleep for him?
chitters happily as it comes closer, and seemingly, we'll take a bite out of him with his big, nasty mouth.
2 attacks in one? What?
That is a miss, I believe. Yes, it is.
I'll hit the sort of half plate.
Yeah.
God, paralyzed.
Carrion Crawler
and
4.
poisoned as well.
Roll
Sucks.
over here. And let's see here. It is sort of slithering between the pillars. Here. Yeah, it'll double move to like climb back down here. Go here. And that is what that does. Snapping branch.
It should be
Oh.
me who's next, and I do have an apology. I fucked with my token and made it vanish by accident, like I deleted it, and so I had to put it back on the board.
Oh, okay, sure. I'll move you up the.
Thank you. I erased myself from existence.
Whee!
That was pretty distressing. I like sat there and I was like, "Oh shit! I fat fingered the delete key."
Terran is gone. He's out of here. All right, Terran.
All right. I will use a bonus action to Misty Step,
Yes.
which casting time of that.
Misty stepping paladins.
right.
My God.
Briefly surrounded by silvery mist, you teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see, which will put me right here.
The Carrion Crawler thinks that this is moon sorcery and should not be allowed.
I know, fucking dragon bullshit. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Move action should be to take me to here.
Yep.
Inside of the Carrion Crawler's reach now. And then a standard action, my actual action, will be to use the attack action against Carrion Crawler 5 with my longsword.
Yes.
Which will, because I'm level 5, will be 2 attacks.
Aha.
Modifier to attack or damage. That'll be the first attack.
Mhm.
11, a 10. A 10 versus armor class. Hot.
That
Boop.
is a miss, unfortunately.
Damn it, I was worried about hitting Jurgis. He's fucking paralyzed over
Yeah,
there.
I mean,
8, hot. I rolled a 1 on that one.
oh boy, it's gonna be like this again, huh?
I rolled
Gonna be
2
one of those
ones.
days.
What was that cleric of Timora? I feel like
Yeah, Cleric of Timora cursed me. That's what it is.
Some of that.
Terran, Terran was thoroughly disoriented by being deleted from existence, and so it's having difficulty covering.
There's, Lady Luck is looking side eyeing Terran.
Mhm.
All right.
All right. So this carrion crawler is still like somewhere at the top, right? Or is it?
It's
Is it
halfway
threatening?
down. Yes, it is halfway down. Like in your, it's basically in your face. It's like 10 feet above you, I would say. So you're within reach with tentacles.
Okay, that means I do have to disengage. So I will disengage as a bonus action.
Yep, because you're a thief.
Certainly. She is also a tabaxi. That means if she wants to be speedy, she can be very speedy, as I will make use of that trait. So for this turn, her speed is doubled, giving her 60-foot move speed. It's not quite enough, because I also need to climb a bit to get over these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So as her standard action, she will also dash,
All right.
which doubles her speed again, giving me 120 feet for this turn, which I assume will be enough
Jesus.
to
Putting the rate
move
of the
here.
game
You gotta hit like Mach 3 at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Just crawling over everything.
So she's basically gonna move here and then climb along the wall to get over these carrion crawlers. She does have a climb speed, so that should be no issue for her.
Okay then. Do
Gonna
you
end up, like,
remain
here.
in the reach of them, or do you want to take an attack opportunity? Like I don't.
She
disengage.
disengage in 5th edition means no movement this turn provokes opportunity
okay.
attacks.
That's perfectly fine. Right, she comes flying off the walls, Matrix style.
Oh yeah.
Terran
Like-
blinks in confusion in the process of fighting the Carrion Crawler to see like Snapping Branch like flip over it basically. Like, what?
Yeah. It's like what?
It is a stunning feat of feline agility.
And that'll be her turn.
Okie doke. Carrion Crawler 3 has been robbed of its lunch, and it is not pleased with that at all. So it will crawl along the wall here. And then it will double crawl like over its friend.
Double crawl.
Double crawl.
The new hit single from the carrion.
Yes. Get
Oh,
over here.
hi.
And that is its turn. Orion.
Well, fair enough then. Orion will fly around over here and help Beldus against this carrion crawler here,
Yep.
and that's it.
Okay. Jurgis can make a Constitution
Get a
save.
new con save.
Yay!
Ooh.
You are no
Got
longer
like a plus
paralyzed.
6. The strongest save.
Nice.
Yeah,
Or shouldn't fail that much, but
yeah.
yeah, no, I guess he shakes off the part like, oh,
Yes. Yeah.
you know, being a
Monica.
wall.
Malachi shouldn't fail that much. Remember
No,
yesterday?
no, I know. I know. Fine.
Oh, good times.
All right then. Beldus.
All right. Well, this carrion crawler has decided to be in his vicinity, so it's time to lay down some hurt. He will hold up his warhammer and call for Morden's aid because he will cast a cleric spell. He will cast as a bonus action Searing Smite. So he's concentrating. The next time he hits something with a weapon, he does an extra 1d6 fire damage. It makes a con saving throw. If it fails, it takes or every turn after I hit it, it makes a con saving throw. If it fails, it takes more damage. If not, the spell ends on it.
Okay.
You can take an action to put out the flames.
Okay.
And so with that done, and with advantage from Orion, he will attack the carrion crawler with his warhammer.
All right. Beldus swing.
Wah!
What?
Get him.
Oh. Okay. My warhammer, my attack macro is empty for some reason.
Oh.
Let me just look at my sheet really quick. What the hell?
Your attack. Oh my
Well,
god,
the
the
rules
Oakland
don't think she'll
Devourer
be-
did more than we thought.
It wasn't empty last time. It's fine. It's I'll just
The
roll.
bargain has been struck.
Pulls up
It's-
the warhammer like it bends. It's made of rubber. So
Yeah.
like, oh.
It's just a phase. It's just a phase.
Alright.
Hold on.
Well,
Oh,
that's the one, and then advantage. That's probably a miss.
that is a miss, unfortunately.
That's fine. Spell is still on. He is concentrating though, so if he gets hit, he'll have to save. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Moonstar.
Moonstar.
Moonstar. He's gonna shoot Crawler 3 a couple of times.
Yes.
No, I'm not. Wow.
Wow, Lady Luck.
A
What
1
the
and a
fuck did she
2.
do to you?
1 and a 2,
Yeah.
guys.
A plus
It's-
10 is pretty amazing to hit, though.
It is. It is
Fucking
amazing. In
bastards.
5e, that's just.
It's
Well-
9 and then plus 1 from because Beldus and his
Mhm.
wizardry. Or clerically.
Anything else?
No.
All right then.
What else can you do when you're rolling one?
Perhaps
Just
we
cry.
too will die to the carrion crawler.
A 1 and a two. Come on. Like, what am I
Like-
gonna do with that?
If you roll bad, like what actually can you do?
Let's see here. Terran.
I was
Swine-
horribly ineffective against him.
Yeah, no, it's not perceiving him as a threat necessarily at the moment. Jurgis, however, did still poke it, so
Did
it
5 damage.
has a lot of meat
That's
on him,
5
and it's
more
kind of
damage.
MVP
So,
right now.
You are?
Carrion Crawler
Somehow.
will reach out again with tentacles to Jurgis.
Oh, not this again. Oh,
That is a
10.
miss, I
I get
believe.
this. That can miss. So.
Yes, that is a miss, and then it'll follow up with a bite.
Mhm.
No,
Also
That's
a
a miss
miss.
too.
All right, well, that's
Wonderful.
it for Carrion Crawler. Number 4. Well, there's a lot of potential here.
A lot of meat over there on that other guy.
Mhm.
Bite me.
So,
Not literally, please.
Well,
This
you
beef
know.
has bad marbling. So
That's-
go for it.
Jorgis holds up a sign that says "Eat more dwarf."
should eat white meat. It's much better. No, the carrion crawler 4 will go for Jurgis as well. He's delicious. He thinks.
Oh my gosh.
Tentacles. That is a hit.
That's a hit. Yeah.
6 poison damage and con save, please.
Another poison save. Yes, come on. Good save. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Follow up with a bite. No.
I won't do it.
Alright.
All right then. Tavern.
Okay. I can. Yeah, I'll go ahead and throw down a spell. Sure. Because I can use a bonus action spell. Why not? Blow all the spells. Woo! Spring Break. As a bonus action, I will cast Divine Favor on myself. Bonus action, last up to 1 minute concentration. My prayers empower me with Divine Radiance. Until the spell ends, my weapon attacks deal an extra 1d4 radiant damage.
A classic.
That's right. Then, as his action, he will look at Carrion Crawler 5, look at his sword, look up at the skies. Well, look in the direction where the sky would be, and he'll try this again. Hacha 22.
That's a hit.
That will be 17 points of damage on the Carrion Crawler.
Ooh.
As the Divine Radiant Fuel Longsword hacks into it. And we'll try again 20
It's a hit.
for 10 points damage.
10 points.
As the
All right.
longsword slashes into the meaty creature.
The burning sword certainly goes into the carrion crawler. It hisses. It shrieks. Like a lot of goop and pus and stuff is just welling out from it. It doesn't look very nice at all. You think probably a stiff wind can take this creature out at this point.
Not in my beard! I end my turn, using the
it's-
move action to like try and protect the beard.
Oh, it's flying everywhere. It's hideous.
No.
A stiff wind, you say?
Don't let
Uh,
Beldus Precision take me. Don't give him an excuse. I don't want to be touched.
Stepping round,
Don't
is
touch
gonna
it.
move here. She will stab
Yes.
number 4 with her rapier. 17.
That is a hit.
Snake attack. 17 damage.
Yeah.
And then she will offhand attack number 5 to provide a stiff wind, hopefully. For 17. For 2.
2 damage. Is 2
Is that
damage a
enough?
stiff wind we need? It is.
Yeah!
It's,
When we deserve.
offhand. Offhandedly kills the carrion crawler.
Just casually. And then bonus action, disengage, and go back.
Wow. Thief bullshit is what
I,
carrion
I
crawler
love
4 thinks.
thieves. Thieves are great.
Yeah, thief bullshit is crazy.
It narrows its
And
eye.
I'm full of bullshit.
This
where's
isn't
my
even
wallet?
thief bullshit, it's just rogue bullshit. You wait for the thief bullshit.
Carrion crawler
He
3
puts a
is
bear trap on your face and leaves.
Yeah.
Carrion crawler 3 is incensed by all of this. But let's see here. There is a dwarf. He has a lot of metal on him. There's an elf. He's kind of scrawny.
Mhm.
There's a cat, but the cat is over there.
There's an owl, but that owl's
Then
too
again-
tiny.
Then again,
Yeah.
the cat did run away from him.
Beldus, what's your AC now?
16 with chain.
So is
Yeah.
mine with studded leather.
No. There's like an angry dwarf waving a burning hammer in front of him. It'll put the attention towards the dwarf.
Seems
So,
reasonable.
Yeah.
reach out a tentacle towards Beldus.
I mean, I'm obviously useless
Oh.
without. With
Gonna
my
try to
bow.
bite. That's a follow-up attack.
That would, however, Beldus will quickly trace some abjuration symbols and cast shield,
Oh.
Alright
which will
then.
give him +5 to AC as a reaction. So he has 21. which
Yeah,
will
no,
make them miss.
the
Bonk.
vile maw full of teeth that crashes into the ward. Sparks flying everywhere, and the carrion crawler is rebuffed.
Oh, shield. You wonderful spell.
Ryan.
Ryan will continue to help against
Absolute
the carrion
classic.
crawler.
Yeah. Jurgis.
He's a good boy.
There's a bad monster up here, so guess
Back
we'll
it.
make an attack. Halbert, finally.
Yes, indeed.
Swing.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, that is
Mm-hmm.
24.
Mm. Mm.
Especially when combined with that damage that Snapping Branch did to it earlier. Delicious.
Yeah.
That carrion crawler is not having a good day.
I
It
have
is not.
bonus action to
All right.
hit it with the butt of the weapon too.
Ooh.
Ha, ha, wah.
Hold
Yep.
on,
For the
man.
forearm master. Yeah, it's for the
Damn.
forearm master.
Take it. Oh,
Ah.
well.
That would have been
I will just
dope.
move action to shift over here.
You
The bonus
can't.
No
of it.
shifting.
You can't. No shifting.
No shifting.
You-
No, that's true. Then again, I don't move out of its reach, right? So Do I?
That's true.
Actually, I do. It's
you
down.
No, you
do
do
for
out the bite, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
You can move within its reach if you want to move up and block it.
No, it was just to get it out of mine, so I could attack it again when it moved
I'm
into
pretty
it.
sure that reach extends into the diagonal as well, even if it's technically 15 feet.
Yeah, it does.
I'll just stay here. It's just simpler.
okie doke. Baldus.
All right, it's time to do some clerical wizardry. He will, while Searing Smite is on, he will use Green Flame Blade as a cantrip. So he'll have to attack this crawler as part of it. So advantage. I really need to make a macro for this later. 15 and 16.
It's a hit.
Okay. Right. So Warhammer does. I'm very sorry in advance. I'll fix there. So Warhammer does 1d6, 1d8 plus 3 bludgeoning, and then Searing Smite activates, which will give him an extra 1d6 fire, and then Green Flame Blade will also activate as a hit and do another 1d6 fire for 8 fire, 9 bludgeoning.
Mhm.
Uh,
And then the carrion crawler, of course, ignites into flames and will have its
Yes.
Constitution saving throw on its turn.
yes. It's now
Oh,
burning.
No.
Haha.
Elrond.
Pew.
Yes.
20,
those are
10?
hits.
Both hits. 22.
Oh, these crawlers. This was not a light lunge at all. Worse.
That'll be me.
They had a great meal earlier and thought that, they could continue
Yeah.
the trend.
Yeah, they thought this
Rip
was
roaring good time.
Hmm. Well,
Sweet.
you just need to stun the damn thing with the spinny stick. So it's tentacle.
Ooh.
Aha! Yes.
Oh, that hits. 3 damage.
Yeah.
And a save.
Ah, damn it. Bite. Follow up. Nope. That is a miss. Right, Tavern.
Tavern will use his 25 feet of movement to basically cut off the creature's retreat by like
Yep.
a light year. On the stairs, fighting on the stairs. Yeah. He's fought on plenty of ships in his day. He can do this shit.
That's right. Swashbuckling.
That's right. Aha! Have at you. Now I have the high ground. You are doomed for sure. Yeah.
On guard. Yep. That's a
Nine-
hit.
For
I have the high ground, he says, standing at the bottom of the stairs.
10 damage.
It is enough to vanquish this carrion crawler as well. As
Okay.
it,
That's good.
it sizzles and pops and
The second attack goes down with a flourish at it to make sure that it stays dead.
ah!
And, like withdraws the shining silvery light of the longsword. Ha! That'll be the end of this turn.
Vicious ooze sizzles and pops off it, snapping.
She will step here, stab the carrion crawler, 22.
Hit.
Snake attack, 19.
That is enough to kill it.
Very good.
Blah. As combat is over, the carrion crawlers are vanquished.
Taryn will walk up to Jurgis over the bodies of the fallen creatures and touch his hand to Jurgis's primary arm. Jurgis will feel a soothing energy flow through his body. I will take 13 hit points out of that 25 hit point pool and take you up to full HP.
Oh. She looks down.
As the
Sits there
sizzling
as
of the poison just fades away.
Hmm. She looks back to Bella and says, I love dwarves. My favorite people.
Yes, we are.
Thank you, Tavern.
Great.
That was these things.
Tara nods and says, Your wonderful constitution would have recovered from it surely, but we do not have time.
It is unpleasant to be rendered such a helpless state.
Hmm.
I have had quite enough of that.
Taryn shuffles along the staircase, back to like that central like intersection.
Your divine assistance is certainly miraculous, but if you do ever feel that you're exhausted in that regard, I do also carry a good selection of mundane salves, bandages, and the like. Against these normal injuries, they should do just as well.
Taryn says, It is wise to carry along such things, but I did not wish to spend the time for application and recovery.
She shrugs. You would be surprised at what the pricey materials I carry can do. But let us not dally. You have a point.
It seemed as if there had been a battle here.
Taryn like looks at the blood, like spread across. That was not there yesterday.
Yes.
So, from the blood, would it be able to tell which way the previous owner of said blood went?
North.
Should
Into
we
the carrion
perhaps-
crawler.
Given that these creatures were still here, just back to them. Did they seem harmed? Like had they been in battle? Like, Possibly.
No, they seemed rather unharmed.
It might be that they got attracted by the aftermath of the battle and were not involved in it in the first place.
good thought. He looks around. There's no other dead carrion crawlers or something on there.
There is not.
Were
Perhaps
there
they
any-
scratched people on the way. They seem to hit on top of these pillars. It would have been difficult, I suppose.
Perhaps
Well,
there
for-
are bodies belonging to this battle inside the carrion crawlers, but I'll admit I'm not quite eager to check.
The alternative is that there are more of these creatures who have dragged the victims of the fight away.
That said, we could go north here, try to see if we can assist some of our fellow warriors.
Taryn says, I'm letting you direct us, Jurgis. As soon as he points like through the columns, Beldis is finished. Which Jurgis can like probably can't even see because like the light is like
Yeah.
bounced back off like
Yeah.
the fucking columns.
While that conversation is going on, by the end he'd probably be finished. But Beldis would like to cast Comprehend Languages and read this written message. It's written on the wall, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Then he will have to touch the surface and take a minute, but then he will be able to read a page worth, which I'm assuming is more than enough for whatever's here.
And that gives you any language.
Let's see here. For 1 hour, understand literal meaning of any spoken language, understand any spoken language, also understand any written language, but you must be touching it and takes about 1 minute to read a piece of text.
Unless it's like
Okay.
a secret message and like a text or a glyph, like an arcane sigil.
Yeah. If it's not part of a scripted language, it's just, arcane symbols such as like it doesn't work.
Yes. Well, it is indeed part of a said language. He is a bit surprised to see that it seems actually to be a mix of different, like every letter is of a different language. It is quite odd. Someone has to be quite the polyglot to actually read this without help of magic. There is abyssal, celestial, infernal. There is undercommon in there. But read out, the literal translation is "find my face."
Wow.
What?
That's it.
Yes.
So this is just written on a wall in no direct correlation to anything nearby it, other than this pillar here.
Well, it seems it's written sort of here, so
Okay.
it seems to be a correlation towards this corridor. It's sort of snaking sort of around the corner.
All right. How do I put thingies and map tools?
Hmm?
Like the text things. Oh, there.
I
Never
put
mind.
a text down.
Thank you. Beldis will turn around and walk back and look really confused. And say, "Well, that was written in a lot of languages. Thankfully, the magic is well versed in such a thing. It says, find my face."
I think yours just claps. Oh, magic. Oh,
Dwarves are amazing.
oh yes. They can do languages, like repair weapons, just seemingly everything.
Why
Seems to
don't
me
they do
that seems to me that whoever wrote that message wrote it specifically in a way that your exact magic would help.
We should not go that way, though. That way is terrible, I heard. Just the absolute worst.
Well, with faces in mind and what seems like mirrors down the corridor, I wouldn't wish to go down there just yet. There's a mystery there. That's not good.
Taryn says, Jurgis, you wanted to see if we could find the remnants of this battle. Why don't you lead the way? He gestures towards where that snake statue used to be.
He answers, yes. Yes, sir. We might take a look, though I still think the real treasure might be to the south. This track seems somewhat fresh. Though be careful here. I heard talk of rivals. Vampires. Claws, fangs. Terrible omens.
You know, Manikai, I'm sorry. This is not the first fucking like superstitious character you have played. Wasn't
wrong.
Rothar also a barbarian?
Nah, he was a blood rager sorcerer.
Oh, that's right. That's
Which
different.
is totally different.
He never actually learned to. He just died so early. No, he's not really superstitious. This is what he heard the bugbears talk about when he left the dungeon. Because he asked them some stuff when he left, and they were like, "Oh, no, that's a bad place to go." So
Mhm.
that's the reason he has feelings about these different places. We
Sure.
killed all those bugbears too.
Sure. He's certainly wiser than what your Blood Rager sorcerer was.
You are at an intersection. The fresh tracks seem to continue north. To your right, there is a closed door.
He looks at the door. What does the door look like? Is it like a
It looks like a door made of wood, with some iron, workings on it to hold it in place. It is closed and does not seem anything like doesn't seem to signify anything particular.
Does
At
it feel
least.
locked or?
It is closed. He does not see a lock on it.
Well, then probably nothing interesting in there.
We can always
Nice.
check it later on our way back.
Bleeding people somewhere. Which way does the blood go here?
Well,
You just find like a vampire like tonguing like the stone floor, like, oh,
God.
this is awkward.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Well, that seems to be
You like that image,
a
Velky?
perception check.
Go with all.
Yes, I can try to look. Perception.
I'm trying to tactically stay
10.
45 feet away.
Yeah, I understand what you're doing.
Snapping Branch is following very closely to
Seems
help him in
there
these
is
tasks.
blood going in both directions.
Oh, that's ominous. I mean,
Could I-
sure. We'll take a look.
Could I roll a check too here, Jonas?
You can, yes.
Okay.
like you said, blood in both
Blood in
directions.
both directions.
How weird.
Well, I believe they say go the right way first, so we'll do that.
Okie doke.
And I trust a
Corridor
Minotaur to
continues.
navigate me in a dungeon, so
Such a
like,
long path,
Oh,
though.
for sure.
My God. By Tempest. Foehammer, guide me.
By Tempest, this corridor is long.
So very. So much blood. Surely rivers could be empty
Well,
at this
yeah.
point.
It's just drenched with blood all the way. It's more a drop here and there.
Okay, it's not like we're walking ankle deep.
No.
Knee deep in
Alright,
the
well,
dead.
I
we'll,
would
we'll take a
have-
look. We'll take a look here. I mean,
I would have described that a bit more in detail if there was ankle deep blood everywhere.
That would be horrific. Pretty
Didn't,
notable.
didn't realize we were telling that kind of story.
To your north, there seems to be a door that is closed. To your south, the corridor continues.
he sniffs the air. Which way seems to be more like bloody smelling?
Well, he's not quite sure. There's a lot of dust here. Sort of hanging in the air like dust motes picking up in his light. Another perception, perhaps?
Right, sure.
On that note, would it be able to
10.
would it be possible to maybe identify whether the person losing this blood was walking himself or being dragged, or
Mm,
what happened here?
sure. An investigation check.
Investigation, yeah.
Sure.
Can see if you can suss out something from the tracks.
10.
There's a lot of tens going on. No,
Hey, I got a plus 3. Is that? You know, it's
Why
just-
not?
What?
It's not a lot of it. So it's not like it's not like someone who was dripping this amount of blood would be unable to walk, you think? But there is the blood drop goes. You see a small blood drop on the door to the north.
Oh, well, that seems like a good. He goes to the door, looks at it. Seems there's blood this way, everyone.
I love this.
It's just another iron banded, like wooden door.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Tavern will walk past and take a look down here,
go.
Jonas.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
He like uses
Oh,
his like
flashback.
spatial like bullshit like dwarven like stone cutting prowess and
Mhm.
following on a hunch like goes all the way over here to like check in.
Yes, he turns around the corner and he sees what is clearly a secret passage visible from this side. It seems to connect back to the entrance room where you come down. He sees also a few small holes poked in the stone here, making it possible for someone to stand here and watch whoever comes down or up the hole.
Taryn keeps that in mind, and he starts wondering like how many other walls have small holes in them that he never saw that might also be secret doors, and he doesn't like that train of thought. So his 8 intelligence is going to shut that down. Like he makes an agreement with himself that we don't think about
All
that.
right, meanwhile,
Jurgis gives this door a good heavy kick.
all right, the door flies up.
Up.
Yes.
It's one of those. Oh, it's one of those
You-
fancy doors.
Behind it is their mouth. Like, oh no.
You heard me. It flies up, damn it. If I say flies up, sheep, it flies up.
I'm sorry.
It ascends
Damn.
through the ceiling into heaven.
Ah.
Choir of angels appear.
This is clearly a sign.
Aha! We'll go inside.
Yes. Hang
Where's
on
the
while I
flow?
hang on
All right.
while I
Should I
describe the
move back?
foe, as it were. All right. I need to reveal a little bit here because this chamber is actually lit up.
Well, that's a nice change.
Yeah.
Sorry, Elvin.
It is actually lit up. Now, let me find my note. A oddly shaped rectangular room stands in front of you. The ceiling is high and vaulted, almost like a Gothic cathedral in here. In places in the room, you see three large stone statues standing on plinths in the room. They seem to be some sort of heroes, people of some significance, surely. They seem to be depicting elves, a warrior, a priest, and a mage. The statues seem deformed or defaced, like pieces have fallen off. There's like hacks and cuts into them. There also seems to be like bronze plaques on the plinths. You can't really read them from where you're standing. But yeah, it is a fairly odd room, to say the least. Yeah, that is what you see from where you are currently standing. There is some movement, however, and towards you, from the dim light of the room, you can see some shadows moving about.
Where was the light coming from?
The light seems to be in torches, like placed in the statues, like the different crevasses. There's like a torch stuck in here and there to sort of light up the room.
What's with people lighting up statues in this dungeon?
Yeah, maybe it's a theme. Alistair, lighty statues, he likes it.
Yeah.
Towards you, in the gloom, comes a creature. The creature is gaunt. It has very angular features and raven black hair laid back. It smiles towards you, and you see fangs bared
It's
in
gonna
its
get killed.
face.
What's gonna happen? I'm raging, getting this guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready for it. Oh, who is this thing?
Do you let him speak to you?
Sure. He's quite a distance away. I thought he was like coming right in my face.
No, he's
You
no.
don't like to do that. You hold the halberd up and light it towards her. There's someone here. To the others. I'll go a little closer. There's like a side passage here. Take a look.
There is a side
Lights
passage
over
yeah.
there. See if there's like a bunch of hellhounds or something waiting for him. Got to be a little wary of all these side passages. Last time we got flanked pretty heavily, so. Oh. Well, let me just step a little back here. No reason to.
No need to be hasty now.
I think you were standing there.
I
The
remember that old vampire image. That's good stuff.
it's a classic. The creature steps towards you and says, welcome to my tomb."
He'll take a step back.
I can't.
Excuse me.
I love Jonas.
I
voice.
I am the Count Crannock, and you have now entered my domain, so to speak. I am afraid there will be a toll for you to get, out of here alive. He licks his lips.
Sort of thinks about what if he just bails? Maybe that'd be. Then he remembers Tempest's words: "Never run away from a fight. At
No.
least not before you've tried." So he sighs to himself.
Suddenly, we're
have
going to
you
see
seen
more
another
shadows
group of people?
move behind these statues. By the way,
He sort of he looks, he glances slightly back, sees his party behind him. Yeah,
Almost of it.
yeah.
yes.
He'll sort of.
Does he answer Count Crannock in any?
Have you seen another group coming in here recently? They seem to be in a bad shape.
He rises his eyebrows a little bit and says, why would I tell you any information for free?"
Hey, Countable says, I once did what you did, and I can tell you it was long years and it did not get better. So I feel like we don't have, we at some point I feel like we could understand each other. We killed a lot of bugbears and goblins, and they weren't really in a mood to speak. But you seem different. So, have you heard the word of the foe hammer? It really helped me through a tough time in my life, and I see something in you that I recognize in myself. I used to have a room like this, not exactly like this, but similar in sort of thematic ways. I had a
I-
riddle, you see, and I had to tell it to people who came into my room, and they weren't able to leave without answering it. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Is this making any sense to you?
Ah, well, then it would seem to me that you are some sort of idiot.
Wow.
That's
My friends, he smiles again. You see the fangs glitter in the light. The proposition is quite simple. You want to get out of here alive, yes? Or you perhaps want to get through to get to your wanted friends who passed here before you, yes? The proposition, again, very simple. Either you can leave one of your compatriots here for entertainment, or you can pay me some of the hefty coin purses that you no doubt carry, yes?
I think Terran's cut to position by Beldus, but upon hearing that clearly, he will push past Snapping Branch, look into the room, and begin to glow with radiance.
Oh no!
Blah!
Power of Christ compels you.
Well,
Oh,
make
guys,
some close,
looks back to him and says, I think these are the vampires.
Terran locks
Very
eyes,
much. Be careful.
narrows his eyes, sort of cracks his shoulders. If they're looking for someone behind to leave entertainment, by all means, a paladin seems like a great person to leave behind entertain vampires, you think? So,
well, Count Crannock will say, well, do we have an agreement?
here's your agreement. We're going to walk out of here and close this door. If you want to do something about it, you little undead, sniveling wretch, you come over here and get the light of Eyeless Tree.
Oh. Intimidation, please.
Sure, I can do that. Check that modifier. Great. 15.
The Count seems to sort of pause for a bit, considering his options. Oh, what would he do here? He will then say, "Ah, well, so you want to retreat, flee from the Count? Yes, of course. You are not the first to do such thing, but you would leave your friends." He sort of indicates behind him up the corridor. Um, Alone and vulnerable in a very dangerous place. Yes.
This guy, does he actually know anything, or is he just fucking with us? Jonas,
That is insight.
that seems fitting. Let me go ahead and throw those bones. Actually, the same result for me. Same result for
Wow.
me.
All right.
What are these rolls tonight? Map
Something's
tools all
weird is
just
going on.
confused.
Hallister, what are you doing?
10s and 15s.
I'm crazy. Oh.
The mage has decreed that all checks come in multiples of 5.
I have so decreed. All right, let me check something.
We'll all now roll a d4 and multiply the
inspiration.
result by 5.
Wow.
Yeah. No, there is definitely something wrong here now that Terran thinks about it. He first of all, he gets the distinct sense that Count Cranach here is lying. First of all, he there is like no, probably they did not pass through here. If he had to guess, like he's pulling a bluff here. More, however, now that he look at him, those fangs looks glued on.
I had hoped this was true.
Oh my god. Yes.
Yep. It's a guy pretending to be a vampire, which is why he sounds like he does. I love it.
Oh my god.
Taryn like blinks. He like looks at Jurgis. He like motions Jurgis to like lower his head so that Taryn can whisper in.
He does, while looking at this
Yeah.
count warily.
And Taryn whispers, which is going to be loud enough for a snapping branch to like hear, says, "This guy's a joke. They're not actually vampires. And the people we're trying to find never passed through here. He doesn't know anything. Let's leave and catch him by surprise later if we want to fight him. It's wasting our time."
Jurgis nods.
Hmm.
Looks to the guy. Back to Taryn. Says, "Well, I suppose we will just have to step outside this room then and
Retreat from the Count.
sorry to have disturbed you. Hopefully you'll
He
someday," he says, "I will show you what the Foehammer has to offer."
Blay.
Taryn like blinks. like twists his
You
head as if he
are,
wants to say something.
You are always welcome here into my night aristocracy, yes?
He,
Don't forget to bring the gold.
he like slowly brings the door shut.
All right.
You know, this whole like fighting the undead thing, he could do that, but like taking down like a bunch of like
Larpers.
idiots, he feels kind of different about that.
Well, I mean,
I
maybe they have
was-
a bunch of other idiots' gold.
They
I
might.
was
Yeah.
expecting bizarre creatures down here when I decided to go down here, but that's
Okay.
bizarre.
He motions like Beldis and
Oops.
Aileron forward, like over. Actually, he like motions everyone to like bring him over, like follow him.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, it's fine. He walks down enough. Since this was so obvious, does it have an obvious means of operating it so that it opens up?
Yes. There
Okay.
is a lever on the wall. You believe if you pull it, the wall will swing open and you can exit back into the entrance well. However, there does not seem to be a similar mechanism on the other side.
Okay. So once we open it, unless Hallister fucking wiggles his fingers, like this thing will probably remain open.
Mm-hmm.
He like points at it and then he whispers and says, "They're not actually vampires. They're idiots who don't know anything. Probably like thieves or whatever trying to survive down here. If we actually want to try and find those people, Jurgis, we're gonna have to go a different way."
He nods. "Perhaps this way," he gestures like this. He says, "I saw blood on the ground. If they truly are not vampires, then, well, there was blood on their door, I suppose."
Beldis just like is quite incredulous actually. Like he
So-
says,
Could also go back down south, but we're here.
Like Taryn nods, like, "We can continue along this path. This is fine."
So
Just
this
wanted
might
you
be
to
a
know.
sorry, but this might be a silly thing to suggest, Jonas. But is the blood actually blood?
ketchup.
Yes, it seems to be blood. Yes.
Oh,
Good. I mean,
not good, but good in the
Um,
sense of, you know.
It's the paper mache we're walking in.
Aha! Welcome to the game
Welcome
show.
to Hannister's Funland. Get the adventure and experience. Not kill the fight the employees, please.
Blay, welcome.
All right. Yeah, all right. I mean, we found a passage here. Does it seem? Could this be open from the other side?
Most likely not.
it might not have a lever to do it, but maybe with some more With some poking and prodding, it could be opened from the other side.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
if we
I
can
mean,
open,
you
is there
can
like a brick you can put like between?
like a shoe. I mean, Snappy Rush she could study the mechanisms. Perhaps that she could make an attempt from the other side if she wished. It's probably fairly difficult, but I mean, I think it's impossible. She reckon.
While we do that, I'm just gonna be right back.
Yeah, there's holes in the wall, however small, but you can probably fit something through it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like getting in your car after you locked yourself out through the window.
Sure. I mean, it would be from the other side. It would be a perception check to find roughly where to operate. Although you would get advantage on that since you sort of know it's here now, and then it would be an investigation check to see if you can identify what you need to do, and then finally a dexterity check with proficiency from your thieves tools to actually do it. It's like a
Well, she's
two-step
certainly
process.
proficient in all three things and a literal expert in two of them. So maybe it's possible.
Yes.
Something to think about for later.
Just as
Something
a shortcut.
while you're contemplating that, I think Tavern is going to have another idea. Those bozos think he wants to, they might try something. Who knows how they want to role play? It's not really his thing, but he's been busy with his life of traveling and being a sailor. He doesn't have time to just sit around and pretend to be something he's not. But he can appreciate the humor in it. There's some artistic value there.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to take one of his bags of caltrops and put it in front of this door.
Oh wow. Okay, sure. We'll mark this
Mhm.
as caltrops.
Yes. His bag of 20. Creature that enters that area must succeed on a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or stop moving and take 1 piercing damage. It reduces their walking speed until they regain at least 1 hit point.
There's a high DC on that dex save.
And no kidding, I'd have a hard time passing that.
Yeah, I mean the con to that is it's only a square, so
hmm
but it's pretty strong
Certainly.
and expensive, I'm sure.
It's 1 gold for that bag of 20.
That's really expensive.
It costs as much. It costs as much as it does for me to get fucking down here.
Yeah.
All right. The outside door is now trapped sneakily.
Right. Terra nods.
I'm back.
That's his fucking trivia right there. Keep them on their toes. He's pleased with himself. That was exceptionally clever.
Oh boy.
Someday when we go up, we'll find a room here and just wait for newcomers.
So,
Like one of the ways to complete the underground is that Hallister offers us a job, in the deep recesses of it.
I mean, he needs good people down here.
Snapping around would like to listen at this door.
Uh-huh. Well, she can hear something. It's like a little bit of mumbling or something from the other side, but it's too far away for her to actually hear.
Well, she'll still point at the door and mouth mumbling towards Jurgis. She can't make out any words or anything?
No, it's like it's very far away or muffled by something.
Alright.
I mean, there was a side passage that seemed to lead in this direction. I would guess this just leads into their room again.
Alright. What's around this corner?
Do you want me to?
Well, go ahead if you want to lead.
Well, it seemed like. Then again, you did fine with those tentacle things. So.
Oh, I am fairly confident I can get out of most tight spots. Although I do have to admit the main reason I am usually in front is because I'm just a bit eager.
Well, a good trait.
Do you want to move?
Oh, sure. Should have. It would seem to me that all these go the same direction.
Any signs of that blood trail?
No.
Maybe we should have gone the other way. It seemed to go both ways.
Darren says, then let us head back and try the other direction. Perhaps the blood here was one of the vampires fleeing from the carrion crawler.
Or maybe it was the paint they put on their fangs.
It's the little old adventures from Pasadena.
Indeed, it is.
Take a look this way.
Hallways.
Ugh.
A lot of walking for an old dwarf, huh?
Who had the budget?
Can I set the precedent that as if Jurgis is in front and Alaran is in the back, then I'm 45 feet away from him.
I don't know if we can set that precedent.
Using his intense knowledge of elven geometry and like spatial relationships.
Or it's just
Spent 100 years learning to do this.
it's
Or should she
literally
take a step when he takes a step? It's not
yeah,
that hard.
or it's literally darkness. Or it's like no darkness, darkness.
He looks
No
down and looks at
darkness.
himself with his
Dark.
dark vision, and if he can't see himself, then, you know.
A hand over his eyes. If he can.
Yeah. That's kind of funny.
Just contemplate for a moment to just go to this door because it's closer.
No darkness.
It is closer.
Darkness.
But figures,
No
no.
darkness.
No.
It wasn't
They built these
locked
long
either.
hallways for a reason.
It wasn't
Wasn't
locked either.
No, it's very inviting.
No
Yes,
darkness.
well.
Darkness.
Yeah, but that means that everyone's been there, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what the merchant lady said. She should go where no one else has gone.
Fucking Halldamir
Clearly-
put in super long hallways in this damn level.
You know, I'm sure
Alistair-
dwarves do the same things anyway.
Alistair loves hallways.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I'll lure the adventurers into a false sense of security, but these super long hallways.
And then
Don't
suddenly,
ever-
just in the middle of a random hallway, there's a pit. You're like, well,
Ooh.
Hi.
uh.
All right.
Well
So, this room.
This is fine.
The room, the ceiling of the room seems to be held up with 5 pillars, made entirely of what seems like humanoid bones, painted black. They are stacked upon each other and held together by something, maybe some sort of magic or something else. But they are holding up the ceiling in a sort of grim shouldering exercise in here. Nothing else seemingly moves from where you're standing.
well, all right. Does anyone see anything here? Anything mysterious? Any fake vampires?
That is a good question.
Like stepping
Yeah.
in and going, "Is anybody home?"
Jurgis will take a look. Can I run perception? Just to
Yeah, you can
see what's
proceed.
going on here, you know? Like, take a look.
If you get another 10.
Oh, proven.
All right. Hallister had his fun earlier. It's been
there-
broken.
There is a little bit of blood here and there in the room, for certain. How far is Snapping Branch's dark vision?
To quote her dark vision, dim light within 60 feet.
Yes.
Wait, you can see in dim light within 60 feet as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light.
Okay, 60 feet. Check. Yeah, there is blood here and there. There is like a chunk of a hand poking out from behind this pillar. But other than that, she can't really spot anything else. Really, can't really see behind the pillars from where she's standing.
I don't see anything trying to ambush us, but I would like to take a peek closer inside. Perhaps if you. Well, there's probably nothing here, right? Just a bunch of piles of skulls.
Speaking of skulls, is this like a natural arrangement, or is it just like a haphazard arrangement of skulls and piles? Like,
Haphazard. It's just tossed in and made into a skull pillar.
Alistair, man, what the hell? All right, well, fair enough then, I suppose. That's weird. Guess we'll keep on our toes as we go through here.
Okay.
Snapping Branch will slowly walk forward, taking a closer look at this chunk of hand that she spotted.
Yes. It is half a hand. It is cleaved like down the middle, and it has some lacerations and like some meat has been chewed off the bone.
All right. Any sounds?
There might be like a dripping sound coming from around this corner, as if something slowly is dripping down on the floor.
Right. You sneak forward to try to get a peek at that.
I don't like your gasp there, Valky.
Sorry.
He's just
Got
deeply
me.
invested in drippings.
I'm excited. Oh,
That got me so like. Oh,
Drip, drip, drip.
heard you like, and I was like, did I miss something reveal? And
Sorry.
oh, yeah.
At
Like
least you're
a
paying attention now.
Fuck.
So it's not one of the adventurers missing half a hand. Got it.
We will go to initiative as the creature launches forward into a snapping branch.
Oh god, one of
It's a-
those.
Despite her
Brainbeak.
attempts at hiding,
She was gonna sneak, right?
Yes. It has.
Oh no.
It has a way of sensing things.
Well,
well,
does not
all
rely on
right.
sight.
Intellect devour.
Inside the brain beak is an intellect.
Yes, it's true.
I wonder if there are intellect devourers.
Ooh, I like that roll. Wow, I'm not used to rolling that high. That's amazing. Good work, -1.
I believe in you, Tavern.
No, I already rolled. It just didn't
I
report
know.
in the chat.
I
I still believe in you.
I rolled an 8.
Yeah, I rolled a 19.
7. But, you know, that's how it goes.
It's hard for Taron to move this fast.
Springs into action.
Well, I mean, he springs into action, but as far as he's concerned, nothing happened, so he's not going to do anything this turn. Snapping Branch, like, crept ahead, maybe? He didn't really hear it that well. That's as far as he takes that. Like, he's just going to wait here.
Right.
I spent his entire term in deep reflection.
yeah, I mean,
Ellerin.
I'm gonna move up to 45 feet away from Jurgis, and that's it. He's same as Tavern. He doesn't know anything's happened. No reason for him to react.
All right then.
He doesn't know how catfolk react to things.
This is literally just acting like a surprise round at this stage. Like,
I mean, how could we?
well, I'm assuming
Yeah.
Snapping Branch makes a noise. I mean,
Well, I mean, like she did with the carrion crawlers, sure, and like so
Oh.
it's not impossible, but like
I
I
mean,
mean,
I'm
initially-
75. I was 75 feet away and round a corner, and you three are in my way. I would have been somewhat hard
we're
pressed.
in his way. Oh, what a burden!
Yeah, we should let
You're
Ellerin
always
go
a-
first, actually. I mean, it makes sense. He's invisible.
Always
That's-
burden to me.
well, I mean,
I mean, invisibility does not seem as useful as it might be in other places.
all right. As a snap reaction, I know it's initiative all, but does Snapping Branch like what happens when she sees this creature as she gets ready to do? whatever?
There's probably an exclamation. She definitely wants to alert her. As soon as she realizes that she can't just peek around the corner and not be spotted, there would be like an audible reaction.
All right. Well, Veldis will. move forward into the room. Can you see the one over there as he walks in?
Yeah, he can see that there's like a bulbous brain thing with a beak floating over there.
It's like by Morton's beard.
We're gonna
you get to
domesticate them and raise them as animals. It'll give us all the
Uh,
gold we need.
just shouts out, "Get in here!" And let me squish through yours, and we'll throw a firebolt at the girl up there. He sees. Does this work? Yeah, that's a miss. I think 11.
That is a miss.
All right, that's fine. Orion should actually be where he was. There you go.
Okay.
Can't do anything else.
Okie doke. Well, this grell here. Yes, it has sensed something delicious, and it will float forward and reach out with its brain tentacles towards.
Oh no. Seen how that ends? Yeah, that would hit.
Yeah.
The one goddamn monster that fights.
6 piercing damage as the brain tentacles scratch her, and then a con save to see if you become paralyzed.
Okay, she will apply some rogue bullshit to uncannily dodge the attack and take half damage.
All right.
Nice.
I apply rogue bullshit.
Oh boy, that's
Oh
bad.
no.
That's
He
a
is
one.
paralyzed.
Don't do this one shit.
No.
I don't want to be here.
The creature seems excited and will dig in with its beak to try to get to the fleshy parts. You will have advantage since you're paralyzed. 15 is just a hit.
15, yeah, that.
7 damage as it beaks her and lets out a screech in triumph.
Is it paralyzed that makes things a crit? Is that stunned? I think it's stunned, right?
Stunned.
is
You have to be
the
helpless.
hit.
Paralyzed doesn't help us.
Which
No,
is kind
paralyzed
of
is,
strange.
Yoris sees this. He's like, no more of these brain paralyzing tentacle monsters. He's had it. He'll rage.
He's done with it.
Like, no more of this.
Actually, paralyze is exactly what makes people autocrit.
Okay.
Oh, it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Paralyzed
Well,
is
good
well.
then, I guess.
Then we know that for next round.
Because he'll rage as a bonus action.
The Grell was so excited that I could not get I could not get in yet.
It was like, whoo.
Over here. And we'll, you know what? I'm raging. Let's attack recklessly
All right.
to gain advantage. And then we'll make a rage halberd.
Oof. That is a hit.
Then, as its first hit of my round, it'll apply 8 bonus radiant damage.
Mm,
And the second attack,
that's a
halberd.
hit.
And then the bonus attack. So I'm actually not sure. Can the bonus attack, does it have reach too?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, well then we'll just smack.
I think it says in defeat otherwise what type of attack it is, but it is a weapon attack, so and the weapon has reach, so I imagine it does.
This is a worse dice, so I believe that's all hits then.
That is all hits, yes. So 36 damage, is that what I'm seeing here?
Oh, we have
Yeah,
15.
the 36.
All right.
Yeah.
Laying into the creature viciously, just slashing and cutting and pummeling. It's like the beak gets hit.
Had enough of this. Enough of
Flying
this.
everywhere.
Get out of here with the paralyzing poison bullshit.
It screeches in indignity over this. Yeah, snapping.
All right, I think I just get to roll a save, right?
Yeah, that is correct. Con save.
No.
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Tavern.
That's sad.
Tavern is 5 feet short from being able to reach Snapping Branch, dwarven speed and all. But she'll probably shake out of that paralysis. I know how sheep is on a saves. It'll probably be fine.
Just don't worry.
Mm-hmm. That'll take me to.
You can dash as an option, but that will take your standard.
Yeah, that's not okay. He'll like move here, like looks at these creatures. God, what the fuck are these?
Well,
Are they monstrosities?
Is it just gonna be like an intelligence check? Like what sort of like theater are these covered under?
well, let's see here. What would this be? An Arcana check could perhaps do it. Otherwise, it would be a just straight up intelligence check. Yeah.
Okay. They're brain
Uh,
beaks.
yeah.
They're brains with beaks on them and tentacles.
Brain beaks, exactly. Tentacle brain beaks. It's,
All right, great. Now we have like brain bugs that come into people. Maybe these are like aligned with like the ones that are inside the bugbears. Maybe these ones put those in you.
mm,
I
mm.
think we'll dash so that Tavern can be in front of Beldas,
Okay.
and that'll be the end of my turn.
Elrond?
I've heard things. So I shall spring into action. I'm gonna shoot Grill 1, I think.
Okay, doke.
What I'm gonna do. I didn't mean to click that twice. Where's the first
yes.
pair? Obviously.
Yeah, even with the soft cover from Snapping Branch, those should hopefully hit.
I would be sad
So
if they...
let's. How am I reading? How should I read this? Are
I didn't mean to click it twice. So it's just 27 and 26 to hit.
yeah, that hits certainly.
Yeah. I just, for some reason, my mouse clicked twice.
But are those 27, 26? Are those two separate attacks, or is
Yep.
it one attack? Okay.
Where
Oh,
did
it's
my
like full attack. full
owl's
attack.
initiative go? Did I get scraped from it, or
I don't know.
I rolled it? He got 17, but he's not there.
My God,
Ah!
Orion didn't want to participate. He's like, no.
Brain creatures.
Just stick him after Elrond, I guess.
I know the brain beak.
Yeah, the brain beaks.
The brain beaks versus the feather beaks.
Uh,
Bleh.
sure, I'll roll it just to get him on it, and you can
Could
roll
I
it
have
from where-
put the... Because it's the normal attack thing. Could I have put that second shot against Girl? First one died?
Yes. He was moving something. Yes, you could have. It's gonna be 6 damage on that.
Yeah. And that's me.
Owl.
Alright. Right, I'll fly into action. He will fly, so 60 fly speed. That's more than enough to not get there. Actually, you can barely get there. Okay.
Get there.
Who is more likely to attack? He will give advantage to Jurgis against the Grell.
Okay. Grell. Mm-hmm. Well,
Growl, growl, growl.
float over here towards the food.
Mhm.
And go here and try to tentacle Tavern. Ho ho!
Jeez.
Yeah, that gets me.
That's a crit. So that would be.
You
Let's
rolling
see
your
here.
damage again?
Yeah, I'm doing another d6, I believe it is. Let me check. Exactly. Oh, it's actually a d10. Ouchie.
I just make the save.
Ooh.
Whew, nice one.
Oh.
So it's additional 3 damage.
All right.
And then it will follow up with a beak. Ugh!
That does not do it.
Mhm.
Plonks into the armor. Beldis.
Taren is caressed. Not the beard, I said!
Let's see here. Belis doesn't want to
It
get
is-
into.
Tentacles have these like fronds at the end of them that sort of
Yeah,
caress
he's
you.
not okay with it. No. No caressing.
Getting lashed with barbed wire.
Yeah.
Shoot more fire.
This
Aha!
is not a hardcore wrestling match. You get that away from.
Mhm.
4 fire damage. Woo!
4 fire
On a
damage.
2d10. Wonderful.
Sizzle, sizzle.
Sizzle, sizzle, burn away. He moved. He's standard. Bonus action? Actually, maybe? No, it's fine. We'll deal with that after.
Jurgis.
Monster, get out of here. here. I'll ragingly swing the halberd. Advantage. Well, that's a crit.
Oh,
So with the crit, I just roll the damage dice again, not the static
The-
modifiers. Yeah?
yes, the
Yeah.
dice are doubled.
I won't put another d10 in. That 19 damage. Is it also for? Well, I also have my my divine fury on it.
That is also doubled.
That's also doubled, yeah. You
Because
double
the
all dice in the attack, yeah.
Well, then I will add another d6 too.
Oh, bye, Loki.
Valky was so upset at Divine Fury that he left.
24, I believe.
Broadcast disconnected.
I'm still here. At least
You're
my
really
computer
not.
says I'm still
14
here.
plus 9.
I
Look
can
at the
move my
stream.
token.
Is 34 damage.
You're definitely
you
not
should,
moving.
you
the
should
token.
reconnect, Loki.
I
Yeah.
will. God damn it, math tools. Why did that?
Matt.
And then we'll bonus. Oh, okay. Well, no, he'll ragingly smash this fucking thing. I'm like, as it flops down, grab a tentacle and just like swing it into the wall.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
no,
it
no more of this.
smashes wetly into like one of the pillars. It's just brain goop flying
And
everywhere.
he'll
It just
roar
sags.
around and like swing his weapon. There's no more enemies to fight, so he'll begin to calm down as he does.
Yeah, you brought the pain train on these grells. Goodness.
No, he's done with this.
Yeah,
Done with it.
He's
My-
done with the brain things. Like,
Am I present?
yeah.
Good.
Says you're connected. Yeah, you're alive.
There we go. Well, those things are horrific.
Taran prods the dead brain beak thing with his longsword.
Just checking snapping bench here.
Oh, I'm fine. I
Now,
did say I can get out of most tight spots. This was not one of them.
I tried to get it before too much. Just godless creatures, these things.
Interesting dead end. I do not believe it.
All right then.
I wish to perceive.
You may perceive.
I do not see anything.
It does appear to be a dead end.
Where does the blood go?
The blood, seemingly, well, now there's a lot of goop and stuff everywhere. But you can see in these alcoves there seems to be remains of humans that have been eaten on by the grells.
Nice. Wait,
Do they have any?
who is it?
possessions?
Who is
The
it? Tell me who it is.
Freshest kill is here. Who is it?
Yep.
Well, it looks like a man.
Is it a certain Helith?
No.
Damn it!
Oh,
Is it his companions?
No, you do not recognize this this person at all. Actually,
Oh, okay. That's a
Maybe they're
relief.
all dressed up as vampires.
if you
I was worried I was going to lose my bet.
if you rummage through the dead body's possessions, you will find like a short sword, a leather armor, a crossbow with 10 bolts. You will also like the clothes the man was wearing are like old and frayed and doesn't seem to be necessarily good repair. You also find a little bit of chalk, like or like powder in a small little what do you call it? Like one of those you like pop up. There's a mirror in it.
Yeah, I know.
I know you're talking about.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know what they're called in English. But
what is it in Swedish?
Spiegel.
Yeah.
what, like a makeup mirror? Like,
Yeah, it's like a makeup mirror.
yeah. That's what it's called over here.
Pocket mirror.
Oh,
Fucking mirror, there you go.
yeah.
Pocket thing.
It is worth 10 gold.
Ooh, fancy.
Yes.
All right. And there's no secret passage in this conspicuous alcove.
Not that Snapping Branch can see.
Does that mean no perception check required, or you haven't rolled a perception check yet?
Well, you haven't rolled a perception check yet, technically, but I can tell you there is no secret passage in this corner.
All right, I'll
These
believe you.
passages might once have been used, but as I understand, things change around here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is.
Well, it's a little miffed. Well, at this point, I think following the trail, I mean, it seems sort of.
Yeah.
Let's go down south and see what's in that passage. With us, Tavern.
Taryn is like fussing over, like he has like one of his small steel mirrors out, and he's like pulling like barbs out of like his face. Yeah.
We need a moment.
No, it's
Quite all right.
Yep, fine. Looks behind the grills. He's not entirely sure if they're evil or just like weird Underdark animals. He'll choose not to burn them. Like he narrows his eyes though.
Tentacle twitches as he leaves.
Stop.
He like looks back, pulls out one of like flask of oil, lets it alone. Quickly wheels his head back to look at them.
I need to go back, actually. It's just gonna freak me out
All right,
otherwise.
let's just go and deal with. Lucas looks at this room. No,
Yes?
no, he's still
No.
not tempted.
All right.
Yes. No.
You can check that room. It's fine.
I have to check the room.
I was going to
There's
check the
not,
room.
there's not going to be anything good in there. I mean, why would it be so close?
But we can't pass a room 4 times and not at least take a look.
She's not
But
wrong.
that sort of made passing it the 3-4 times sort of pointless already. No.
It's just there's not
Alright.
gonna be anything in here.
Sure.
Flawless reasoning on both points.
All right.
I mean, I suppose it's not going anywhere.
Step stands before a door.
Before opening the door, she's
Yeah.
gonna quickly pull out some supplies from a healer's kit and fix herself up.
All right then.
Which she can do because she's pretty good with that thing, actually. Pick the feet for it.
Cool. Tell me.
She can, as a bonus action, because thief bullshit, although it's irrelevant here, give someone d6 plus 4 plus their maximum hit dice as hit points.
Oh.
She
very
can do
handy.
that once to each person per long rest. And she has 10 charges in her kit, which means now she has 9.
That's nice.
Awesome.
How much are the kits?
Yeah.
They are
Healer's
fairly
kits are
pricey.
5 gold piece per.
All right.
Very handy.
So.
Actually, I have 2 kits, so I have 20 charges.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Stepper
Nice.
branch is packed.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
That's what you're normally able to do with the kid. What Saving Range is able to do is something beyond that.
Yeah, I can, as a bonus action, stabilize someone and give them 1 hit point. Or as a bonus action, give someone a d6 plus 9 current hit points. So it's pretty damn useful.
It is.
It's very useful, yeah.
But she will now prepare to open the door.
Okay.
She's
The
very
door
resourceful.
opens.
A little close, just to be in protection range.
Flies down.
But there wasn't
so-
anything down there, right?
Oh,
All right. The door opens. Before you stands the remnants of what was once an armory, perhaps. There are some old weapon racks on the wall here. They appear to be empty. In the middle of the room, there is an old armor stand that is also empty, but driven into the stand is a sword that is glowing, lighting up the room. Next to the sword on the ground, there seems to be some old dried blood and the remnants of a skeleton hand.
Well, that smells like a trap. An unlocked room with a magical glowing sword and signs of someone having met a terrible fate right next to it. She muses out loud.
Yes, I would agree.
Only in destruction is the truth revealed.
That's
Shit,
the
game.
Get out of my compulsion.
Balagnos sweeps in.
Grabs the sword, fucking leaves. Well, okay.
I mean, this certainly looks like something of a magical nature. Beldus, perhaps you can give some additional insight on this? It might just be a magical sword just sitting right there for the taking.
It's never that easy, lass, but I'll see. Right, how far away is he? Perfect. He is going to. It's going to take him a bit, but he will cast detect magic as a ritual on around that place.
Okay.
10 minutes, I believe.
11. It's 10 plus the time, so be 11.
Then a few minutes later, while Beldus is still casting, probably Snapping Branch might hear a knock. Hello?
There seems to be
Aaron's like looking for tiny holes.
well, a perception check. You have advantage.
Right. Do
Oh,
that.
cool.
18.
Yes, in fact, there are tiny holes.
Okay.
They're watching
Tyrion
you.
calls out, I see you. Like puts his mouth like over like one of those small holes.
Ew.
Well, not like right on it, but like over it. Like he's covering. He like eats the hole. That's what I do. If I eat the holes, then the hole will fix itself.
Turns out the entire dungeon is made of chocolate.
It's like a
If I
donut.
eat the holes, wait a minute.
That's right. If I eat the donut holes and the holes are gone, that means the wall is fixed. It's sense.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
That is reasoning worthy of Hallister.
I
Alright.
don't try to like open it, but it confirms.
Oh, sure.
That it makes sense here.
Yeah, certainly. Beldus, casting after 11 minutes, then will recognize that yes, this sword is indeed magical.
Yes. Is there anything magical around it?
No.
All right. Let's
Right.
return to Snapping Branch and tell her that there's nothing magical of a trap nature, but be wary, the sword itself might be dangerous.
Well, if Baldus's magic cannot divine the answer, then perhaps cold hard logic and hard looking can. She wants to go close and investigate.
Okay. How close does she go?
Like within 10, definitely.
Okay.
And then I assume you want a check of some sort.
Yes. What are you looking for specifically?
Well, trying to make sense of it, really. Like,
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
an investigation check, maybe?
Yeah.
Exactly.
investigation.
23.
Ooh.
Mhm. Well,
Peering from a 10-foot distance, like
the sword is certainly glowing in a magical sort of way. It seems to have been driven fairly deep into the wooden frame of the armor stand. So some force was certainly used. The remnants of the skeletal hand. She looks at it carefully. She would think that the hand was chopped off, given the damage to the bone.
Well, that's weird.
Hmm.
I mean, hands get chopped off in dungeons all the time.
Mhm. It has happened.
We just saw one. With the
The
ground.
other room, right over there.
Yeah, right over there. That one has
In
flesh
the
on it.
hand
though.
of whoever unfortunate person lost this one.
Beldus. Does Snapping Branch like tell him what she's thinking, or?
Yeah, she's basically talking out loud as she investigates. Like, yeah, it's no obvious sign of any traps. At least no mundane ones. There could, of course, be some sort of magical ward or curse behind the object, but I have no way of telling. Well, I do have one, which is inadvisable.
I would assume that would be to touch it.
Exactly.
If anything, let me.
Hmm.
Let me.
Through one of the small holes, Terran echoes, sort of like it sounds eerie into the room. If the sword were valuable, someone would have already taken it by now.
Well, it's certainly not without value. I'm just curious of the reason why it is exactly still here. There's certainly something.
I'm telling you, it's without value.
It seemingly, given the the state of the sword, she would estimate that it's been here a while.
But it's magical, right?
Yes, it
Yes,
has
it
been
is.
detected as
That
magical.
means it's valuable.
All right.
And Terran is
Given,
telling you if it were valuable, then someone would already have it.
Just grab it.
saying the
on.
same thing over and over again, doesn't sway the same line of thinking. Veldus will, once he gets close to it, is it close enough to make an inspection of what? Like, is there any runes on the sword, or is it just glowing? Like, what's the deal?
It seems that the sword appears to be quite shiny,
Okay.
and the glow seems to be coming from some sort of magic, like emanating from within it. Certainly.
Would he have to touch it to try and identify what it would be?
Do you have an identify spell?
I do, but I can't cast it because I need 100 gold pearl, like as a focus, which I could not afford. So no.
Right.
You want me
Uh,
to grab it? I can do it. Really,
no,
feel like we've
Jurgis.
been here for a while now.
I'll do it.
Do you have? There are other divination spells that might help. There's like augury,
No,
divination. No.
no,
Okay.
I don't.
Wish.
Wish.
Veldus
Yes. Would
will
certainly work.
look at the other two and grab sword.
Okay. Yeah. As you grab the sword, you can pull it out of the wooden frame quite easily.
Okay.
The sword sits in your hand. It glows. Yeah.
All right. Veldus will step back with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's in his hand, can he try and dine what it does? Perhaps Arcana, or at least a sense of what it might be able to do.
Well, as he turns it over or attempts to turn it over, he notices he can't let go of it.
Oh dear. All right then.
Oh, that's why the hand was chopped off.
All right, can't let go of it. So then, with that assumption, this item is cursed.
Yes.
Alright. Belda smiles to himself and says, "Well, this is actually the best outcome that could have happened. I don't need two of my hands. I can just use one."
There's a pause, and then you hear from beyond the wall, "What if you need to use the outhouse?"
You don't.
Yes. This you are unable
To
to
drop it.
let go of the sword.
Okay. Do
for
I
any
learn
reason.
anything else? Can I learn anything else about it?
Well, you can roll an Arcana check now that you're in possession of it to sort of
Yeah,
try to divine more what.
because I don't know. I don't think I need the spell specifically to do it, but it just helps me, right?
I believe it spell gives you
Identify
plus 20.
does reveal exactly where the magical item is.
Yeah, but a check might or might not. So let's see. 21.
Yes, no, the sword is most certainly cursed. It spreads light like a torch.
Okay.
It cannot be turned off as in any way that he would notice, and he believes that he is completely unable to let go of it for any reason whatsoever. Uh, he would have a sword in his hand now until he dies, effectively.
Okay.
The only way to remove this would be, some protective spells, such as remove curse, would do it, for example.
All right. So money is what I'm hearing here.
Or if it is a level 3 abjuration spell, so I believe Bellis could cast it in the future, if nothing else.
Yeah, I can in the future.
Oh.
Like,
For
would
now,
the spell magic work, or does it have to be remove curse?
remove curse. You are now cursed with the item.
Great.
Um,
All right. Anything else?
No, it is apart from that, it functions like a longsword.
Okay, so it's a mundane longsword that just gives light and you can't drop it.
It is a cursed magical longsword that disallows you from dropping
Torch
it and
that
spreads
no
light.
monster can disarm you from without chopping off your hand.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. It can't be disarmed.
Can't be
What
disarmed?
is the
You
distance
can
of
find
this
another
light?
one of those oozes. You can stick it into it and just
Yeah.
dissolve it.
What's the distance of light? Just
It's like a light spell.
Okay. Oh, we have 2 light spells going now. Great.
Oh, oh,
That's fine.
Taryn like
You'll,
leaning his head in to like look down into the room.
the shiny sword.
Beldus will sigh and say, "Well, I can't seem to drop this sword." Kind of like waves his hands around, like trying to let go, but physically incapable.
Taryn
Oh.
finds this incredibly amusing. He sees the joy in life, and this most certainly is joy.
And then he shrugs, puts his warhammer on his other hand on his back, and holds the sword. It doesn't make any difference to him.
Going to be hard to leave this city. The guards will think it's suspicious.
Oh yes. Amusing.
Wouldn't want to invite him to any of your party snapping, Branch.
Oh, you don't know what happens during my parties.
Hand chopping's the least of his problems.
Might be something for the museum. The cursed dwarf.
Yes.
Hmm.
Does not prevent me from slashing you, Tavern.
Oh.
Oh, I could use a shave.
Seems you've shaved quite enough, actually.
Oh,
It's like a
he's
bar
reminded of the
sitting there.
growls. He frowns.
And then like bumps into Elrond and goes, "Oh, well, at least I can see you now with this."
I suppose so. Like, Elrond's like, shit, I gotta get away from 2 lights.
At least Ellerin didn't take it.
Fucker.
Yeah, that's
I'm
the
not
best,
taking
best outcome.
anything.
Would you hold this, please?
I believe the door to the
Fair.
south was waiting for us, so.
Yes, Beldus was holding on his hand with a sword. Do you want this sword?
I would have asked Veldus to help me clear the rubble from my foot in front of the door, but he's a bit indisposed at the moment.
I can do it.
Well, yeah.
All I'm hearing, Tayron, is that once I get this off my hand, all that gold is mine, not yours. So
Mm.
These long
But you're
holes,
not gonna-
I'm beginning to feel that there might be little holes in the sides.
You're not going to be able to hold it that well.
I'm just gonna go away for this correct area.
The Dark Maiden doesn't approve of bladed weapons, though, so I'm glad to see that you've had a change of heart in the weapon you use.
Beldus just smiles and says, "Yes, well, martial prowess isn't my expertise, is it?"
It better be soon.
Now, if you go really hard on this, you enchant that sword. You keep it forever.
You like imbue it with like your own spirit.
Make it incredibly magical.
Curse
you,
plus
Somehow.
as you enter the chamber with the beheaded snake goddess, you do notice that the block door is no longer blocked.
Hmm.
Or maybe this is where they went. Then. Shame.
Are there any footsteps?
Yes, there are.
What
They lead
what
beyond
kind?
the door. Boots,
Boots.
human size.
But here we tried to save them for nothing.
Terry says, it was not nothing to try and save their lives. We meant well.
Well, they might still need it.
They might.
Though a nice good kick.
Doors.
Well, actually, it opens outwards, doesn't it?
The doors. I was gonna say.
They fly up. Wink.
Yeah, they fly up.
What
are
do you
right.
remember about this area?
Nothing. Never been here before.
As a thing, Joe's the
What
spell is still
exciting,
going.
really.
So if he detects any magic, let me know. For 10 minutes at least.
All right.
Well, let's go this way first. Why not?
All right.
all right.
I mean, it seems as good as any other. Let's
For
take a look.
flavor, what color is the light that from the longsword that Beldis is holding? Is it blue?
Gold.
Gold. Ooh.
Also, how
Gold
far?
and green.
How far's the light?
It's the same as his
Same
light.
as mine.
Fuck's
So
sake.
The Goose worst nightmares. Just this.
was there a scabbard with this sword, or was it just
No.
the sword itself?
You can't put it away. What are you gonna do with a scabbard?
You're just gonna bury it in someone. He's
I
like,
just scabbard,
Maybe you could
hold
like
it in the
keep it in a
scabbard.
hitch if you want.
I mean, I could just like hold it in
I mean,
my
you could
backpack
always
if I want.
buy a scabbard. She's
Yeah.
been like, why is your hand always on your sword?
Yeah, I look so edgy and cool with my hand on my sword all the time. It's perfect.
And at least you didn't like pick it up like in a weird way, like you had like forced to hold it like
Pick it up
backwards or
with your
something.
teeth.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Headbutt it. Now you have a sword
Hold-
sticking out of your head.
I mean
Hold
that's an
still.
extra attack right there.
Actually, no. Just think
It's
about
hard to get extra weapons.
it. It is very, yeah.
Cavalier
So many
proficiency.
damn hallways. Alright. Well, certainly gets your
Hallister got like a fucking like bargain bin, like discount, like clearance sale.
Oh, he
No,
loves.
I can
corridors.
cancel my subscription to the gym now. All this running. What's this way?
Let me see here. Because I need to. Okay,
Tell us a story.
I shall.
Spin us a tail.
Beldis
Oh.
notices magic
Oh no.
Magic!
coming from here.
Okay.
Significant.
What school of magic is it?
Well, I shall tell you everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Incredible magic. Yes, it is very strong conjuration magic.
Oh, okay.
In the alcove, there is a relief that depicts a nude, heavyset man playing a harp.
What?
Okay.
There seems to be runes or something engraved on the harp.
Okay. Beldis will shout out, "Hold!" As he like
Gosh,
detects
gosh.
this magic. Doesn't step into the corridor, but gets a sight line on it. So it's like etched into this. Is it like a stone? What is it exactly? Like a stone? Just a stone wall?
A stone relief. Yeah, there's a
I
stone
don't know.
slab someone
Okay.
has put against the wall
Okay.
Yeah.
And the bar is etched on it, and there's runes on the bars.
that is being played by
Yes.
a nude, heavyset man.
And
Yeah.
conjuration magic. That's not
Yes.
good.
Very good.
Whatever this is, I assume if we attempt to go closer, it will summon something.
There's also a text now that you have proper light on it.
Yes.
And it's written in common.
Okay. What's it say?
What does the bas relief say?
Yes. Gaze upon me with a bronzed face, and secrets I shall reveal.
Bronzed face. Tavern? Phyllis calls out.
Tara like comes over. Yes.
There is a riddle here.
Oh,
I would ask your opinion on it.
he like thinks to himself, "Fuck."
So
He looks at it.
Yeah, he sees the same inscription. Gaze upon me with a bronzed face, and secrets I shall reveal.
He admires the stonework of the bas relief. Looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
It is, yes.
Beldis extrapolates that there is a very strong conjuration magic here, which he believes that might bring something into being if this is whatever this is going to do.
Yeah. He stares, he looks at it, and he says, maybe there's a mask laying around of some kind. Some sort of decoration that goes together with this.
That's a good idea.
In exchange for solving it, you receive a boon of some kind.
Well, I must say I didn't expect such a clear and concise answer, but yes, I think
Tyrion says,
that's.
I am a concise man.
Bill just looks at him and says, "So those barbs earlier were concise, were they? I could hear them
Tho-
all the way down the corridor for a
Those were
very
for the
long length of
brain
time."
geeks, not me. Oh, you meant what I was saying.
Yes, yes,
Well, I told you not to pick it up.
yes. I agree.
He like uses like his sword hand to pat Beldis on the shoulder, but now you know for next time. And then he used Beldis's own word, lad. Twinkle in his eye.
All right then. Oh, Bill will shrug and say, "Later then. More corridor ahead of us. Let's go."
Yeah, I guess if we happen upon a mask, then we know where to bring it.
Well,
If
there
we
was,
have
there
it upon
was.
a dwarf under a mountain,
I think I know where it is because
and
find my
someone
face above. So
Oh,
I'm assuming that whatever the face is through there. So
Tyrion looks at the harp, shakes his head. Who the hell would play such an instrument like that? I mean, it can sound beautiful, but that's silly. You like a sturdy instrument. Harps aren't sturdy.
Certainly true. There might be a face to find up there.
yeah, Bell is sure of it. He's a wizard. He knows these things.
All right then.
Of course. He's a muscle wizard.
Muscle wizard, yeah.
The buffest
Miss it.
wizard of
Clearly
all
more
man.
brawn than brains after that cursed item.
Ah!
anything special about this door, or does it seem like the others?
Seems like a door like the others. Yes.
Well, then we have a solid method for opening them, I think. We'll kick it in. Ready to kill whatever brain-eating slug lives within. Not having anyone. It's not acceptable.
The door flies open and
Got
reveals
this,
corridor.
Ah!
got this image of Yorgos being like a SWAT team and then like Stopping Branch being the CSI coming in.
Yours is. It's just. I mean, you get paralyzed by giant tentacle monsters, and now there's more of them trying to get inside his allies' heads, and he got his brain emptied somehow. He doesn't understand it, but he doesn't like it, and he feels like it has worked to hit them really hard. So that's probably how that should be solved in the future.
are there still signs of those boot prints around?
Well, oh, excuse me. Now that Snapping Branch looks around, yes, there seems to be quite a lot of prints around here, actually.
Hmm.
There are boot prints, yes, for sure. They, yeah, they seem to be going south, the freshest one perhaps, but there's a lot of other tracks here as well. There is bigger feet that is trundled through here, and a lot of small feet. There are definite goblin tracks in these corridors.
Oh, she will share that.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Jurgis, Jurgis does remember that Sanathar supposedly had other outposts down here.
Yes. Well, I mean, surely there can be more brain.
Surely.
Mm.
Sees a door. The door in front of him looks like it was very grand once upon a time, but it's sort of been squished. Like it's a big door that's been like crammed in here, and it's like smushed and like a little askew. It's like someone trying to fit a square block into a circle hole.
Well, someone wanted a fancier door. That, to me, implies that someone lives here on a relatively permanent basis, perhaps. Are there any sounds coming from the door?
Uh, there are some sounds. Sort of a it's like a shuffling on the other side, maybe. It's very faint.
Could a perception check reveal more?
You could try, yes.
I certainly want to.
They're dancing.
No, there's very faint shuffling. Like if someone is like walking around in there or like dragging their feet around in there. Well, you can't really say more than that.
Shuffling.
I'm ready to kill whatever lives in here. Those brain things need to die.
I don't think those brain things would make shuffling sounds. But perhaps their hosts might.
Only one way to find out.
Just go ahead.
All right. The door opens. And you step into a strange room, to say the least. Um, first of all, there is clear signs that there's been a camp made here. There's like stamped out fire and like some like bones and stuff tossed around there. Someone like ate a chicken. There's also a hole in the floor that leads seemingly leading down to a pit. You can't really see what's in it from here. There also seems to be a huge slab of stone on the wall here. From the angle, you can't really see what it depicts, but it seems to be quite vast. Um, it is like a 30-foot wide, floor to ceiling, like just fresco of something on the wall.
And there's no one in here?
Not that you can see, no.
Oh, let's go inside. Make room. She looks warily around. He understood when he was overhearing things that apparently brains were transplanted, and
Signs of a camp, huh?
Yes.
Is the shuffling still audible?
Yes, the shuffling seems to be coming from the pit.
Oh, shuffling in the pit.
Zombie pit.
Taryn, will actually not step right on his square, but he'll like lean to like look down the pit. And as the hands yank him down to hell,
As Terran looks down the pit, something looks back up at him.
The abyss.
he was ready for this. He's too stupid.
No, I'm not prepared for Out of the Abyss again.
There is a human down there. The human is clearly quite dead, but also walking around. It looks up at him, and it says, "Greetings. I believe I recognize you." As Tyrion might also recognize this person as someone who sat at the table of the fine fellows.
Who is it?
It is Haleth.
Yes!
I mean, does this count as death?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be a discussion for Durban, maybe.
He's dead.
Tarith like goes down to a knee and actually gets closer to the pit, and he says, "What happened to you?"
I am not quite sure. I had a dispute with my party. We came down here for some reason. They killed me, tossed me into the pit. I did not stay dead. I want them. I want them to pay for what they did to me.
Taryn gives a momentary thought, and then he reaches into his pack, going for his rope, which he would keep out the side of it.
All right.
And so doing, he'll brace himself, and he lowers one of the rope down to the revenant.
All right. The revenant will grab on and start pulling himself up.
Taryn acts as a sturdy base.
As this is happening, Bellis would like to have a think of what he knows about what had happened here. What's going on?
That is a religion check.
All right, let's do a religion check. Good at this. 21.
Yes. For sure. It seems that the creature before you is a revenant. What is a revenant? Well, when a human dies under particularly gruesome or treacherous circumstances, they can rise from the dead as a curse for themselves, but also a curse on their killers. Their whole existence centers around bringing their killers to justice, usually by basically crawling up to them, haunting them, and killing them. After their killers have been brought to justice in one way or another, the revenant is destroyed and the soul goes free, usually to, well, either wander and end up wherever else it might go.
Okay.
The revenant can also be destroyed with spell and sword to free the spirit that way. Although such spirits might end up as ghosts or under haunting other places, seemingly because their vengeance is unfulfilled.
Nice. All right. Well, as the revenant tops the pit, answering its question, answering its unanswered question of I don't know what happened, Bellis will say, your former allies, what they have done to you, your soul has, well, it has stayed on. You now, well, you exist only for vengeance towards them. And once that is done, you will be freed.
He nods. Yes, I can feel the words you speak are true. My former companions, they are still here. They are still in the dungeon. He sort of stops, looks around. I can feel them.
Well, perhaps you could lead us to them then. They should be taught that their behavior is not exactly the best thing.
He nods. Yes, they must be brought to justice. Vengeance must be had. He looks around. I don't know. Does Elrond breach the subject?
No.
If Elrond comes over, with the
There's
paper in his
5 gold
hand,
on the line here.
Beldus just strikes out a hand, looks back really disapprovingly,
No, he
come
wouldn't.
on.
He wouldn't.
Yeah.
Besides, would anyone believe you if you showed a document that says, I hereby confirm that I was the first to die?
Well, he was
Signed,
undead,
the
so,
Revenant.
Yeah, no, that might not hold in court, but
All right.
He will then say, there is one. Yes, still on this floor, yes. He points in a northeastern direction. He is there. It is Kellum the Weasel. He left. He left to go and find something. treasure of something a wizard left here, I think. He is over in that direction. Quite a distance. He points northeast. The others below us, they have gone deeper.
Since Jurgis asked himself, it probably is in this area, somewhere the portal is.
Well, I would agree that those would not deem it worthy to call them people, but justice must be done. However, if they
Yes.
are in that direction, then he kind of addresses the rest and says, perhaps behind our fake vampire friends up there.
Possible.
God, the revenant. I presume his armaments were not left with him whenever he was killed and ditched down a pit.
It was not, no.
Okay.
He,
Will you
he
take
seems to,
a
he
will
seems
you
to
take a
have
warhammer?
like the basic. He seems to have the basic clothes, but anything of value has been taken from him.
Well, I have not used any of this anymore, so he'll hand him his warhammer. Might not be useful, but it's his weapon. So that is if he needs it.
He looks at it and then shakes his head. No, my vengeance fuels my power, and then he like punches into the floor, and you see like cracks and like splinters like fly off the stone.
Okie dokie.
Alright.
Great.
All right, Mr. Hulk. Let's. How about we check that room and then we will go north.
I mean, this giant stone plate. What about that?
Yes, it is quite the sight.
Get him to move it. He can clearly do it.
It is.
Touch it.
It seems to be sort of fastened to the wall, like not glued, but you know what I mean, like it's,
Yeah.
it's like stuck into the wall. It seems to be a quite elaborate image. It yes. You believe that this might actually be some sort of map. It seems to depict a cross section of Undermountain itself. You can clearly see
Oh.
Mount Waterdeep. You can see Waterdeep itself at the top, and then a myriad of hollowed out levels, caverns, like weird pocket places, like all over the slab. Each done in like its own little stylistic side view. There are no names that you can see, but perhaps a closer inspection can reveal more.
Sure, let's look at this thing. Is it static? Like it's not changing? It's just like a normal slab?
It seems unchanging as you look upon it.
Okay. Not magical since I'm standing here, so or it might evade my detection. Yeah, let's look at it.
All right, you can investigate.
Would history do anything here?
What history do I think?
It's more identifying significance of what is depicted rather than like finding out things you have missed on it. But sure.
Or because Beldis as a dwarf has a thing where
That's what
with
he's referring to.
yeah, stone cunning. I can make an intelligence check related to origin, but it's origin, so I will use what investigation was it?
Investigation, yes.
Sure, that's fine. He will
Alright.
guidance himself.
Snapping Branch will assist you in this,
Okay,
All right.
which does not give you a bonus because
That's
she
fine.
has no idea.
so this will be our initial roll. Okay, well I don't think a D4 will give me anything, but let's roll it anyway. 7.
Hmm.
Maximum investigation skills.
Those are poor rolls.
I mean, when you roll a 1 and then your sister rolls a 2, you
Yeah, I mean, you know.
can only do so much.
Yeah.
Beldis just looks at it and he's like, it's too much here. And it's too
Well,
much for him to handle.
you can find there are three features that you would say stand out from what you're looking over. There's a lot of detail here. A lot of it is marred, either by like it being slashed, or age has faded it, or something like that. But on the what you would recognize to be the third level depicted, there seems to be a like a stylistic flaming skull next to the third level.
Okay.
On the 16th level that you count, there is a stylistic relief of a comet. And on the very lowest of it, there is a tower. And around the tower is a rune engraved upon it. The rune is glowing very faintly.
Which floor was that? The bottom one?
If you count 23rd, 24th, maybe, it's hard to say. It goes sort of all over the place here.
All right. I suppose this is similar to those little displays certain bigger shops have to show you what you can expect on each level.
Does it have a "You are here" arrow then?
Uh,
There is a boss on level 60.
well, not necessarily. Although, let's see, passive perception, Sniper Rush. Sniper Rush believes that the reliefs that you have identified might be able to be pushed like buttons.
Might not be a map at all. It might be a something. Does it look like there would be something bad if she just pushed one at random, like a mechanism that punishes the wrong code?
With that investigation check, you would have no idea.
Well,
She's gonna push something.
Okay, which one does she push?
Just anything at random.
The flaming skull, the comet, or the rune at the lowest possible.
Let's go for the comet.
All right.
we all die.
Comet cold to Waterdeep.
A
Signal.
meteor is cast.
Nuclear launch detected. All right, Sniper Rush presses the comet. It sinks in. There is a click. And a disembodied female voice fills the room. Gate access to Stardock available from the Crystal Labyrinth only.
What are those words together?
Val just like is like
Stardock?
just visibly out loud just says, "What?"
Crystal Labyrinth?
I assume this is some sort of control mechanism for transportation within the dungeon.
Press the
What-
bottom
what-
one.
What about this one? He like punches the skull one.
I'll type it out for you. Hang on.
You have
Okay.
activated death.
You are cursed.
For
Again.
English, press 1. Para español, prima dos. For death. press 3. No, please
Please
be
waiting for this
seated.
slab to like fall down, splatter anyone in front of it, and then like shuffle them into the hole.
Fucking Hallister, man.
You selected imminent death. 5, 4.
I mean, it wouldn't really surprise anyone, would it?
King Killer Star has been called back to Toril. Raging Dragon.
Record scratch.
What is this? A 90s TV show?
No, what this
Yeah.
means is that there's likely more of these slabs, and we can only
Yes.
go to certain ones from certain other one. Perhaps
all right,
coming back here.
Which one did you press next?
At the skull, I pressed it. I'm excited. Sorry.
Okay. there is sort of a bzz, and then there is the voice coming. Gate access to Skullport. Bzz, bzz.
Oh. Huh. Those names, do they have any recollection from Bellus's mind? Like
Now that's
Stardock and
history.
Skullport. Ha! Alright, well,
You will get assisted again.
thank you. I am historically inclined. There we go, that's the word. You could have just done that. I hope I get D. No. Okay, well, D4.
Yeah, you have no
14.
14. Well, 16 then with the assist, right? No,
Yeah,
what does the assist do again? It
give me
gives
plus
you
2. Right.
Plus
Oh,
two.
advantage.
Oh,
There's
advantage.
advantage, yeah.
I roll again. Uh, what was my thing? 6. 17 then with the 4 added on.
17. Well, Stardock, you have no idea what that is.
Okay.
That's just, who knows? Skullport? Well, you've heard that supposedly somewhere in Undermountain, in the dungeon of the Mad Mage, there is actually a town
Oh,
called Skullport. It is a refuge for all manner of strange critters and cretins from the dungeon and other places. Because, well, Undermountain connects to many other places than just Waterdeep. There are the ancient dwarven hold that a lot of a lot of Undermountain is carved from when Hallister took it. There are weird connections into the Underdark from it. There are just other planes of existence that Hallister connects things to because he likes. And a lot of these creatures that had nowhere else to go end up in Skullport. It is definitely a den of scum and villainy. But it is also a place where one might find, a relatively safe place to rest and recuperate and resupply if someone is deep in the dungeon.
okay. Beldis will scratch his beard and say, wild guess, but perhaps these places are places of he does the inverted commas with his fingers and says places of sanctuary. When Beldis pressed these, or when these buttons were pressed, was no magic either anywhere, or just
I
purely
mean,
mechanical, or
the voice might be magical.
okay.
Like a conjuration aura might pop into existence when they are pressed.
Okay. Well, all right. Beldis would muse that perhaps this is a way to get to those places easily. However, it doesn't seem to be working right now.
How about the last place? The tower with a skull, I think it was?
A rune.
Oh.
Oh, rune. Okay. Fix that.
All right. Well, you press it, and the voice comes back, and says, "Access to the master's tower from the laboratory only."
Bell just looks to Sapping Branch with like a like a surprised face. That sounds promising.
If only we can find the laboratory.
Well, yes.
Well,
Anyway,
this is exciting. It's, well, boggling, really. How about we carry on to distract ourselves from this amazing discovery that benefits us currently in no way whatsoever?
He belongs in a museum. Compulsion. He needs to drag
Take it.
away.
uh,
What? I mean, Snapping Branch, this would belong very nicely in a museum, wouldn't it?
It's
Random adventurers
how
teleporting into it.
how would you carry this?
I don't know how.
you don't.
Carefully separate it from the rest of the wall and tote it out.
Hope it doesn't count as part of the place, so Hallister gets mad.
What happened to my tourist map?
Also, the things she's after are not necessarily only amazing things, but amazing things with stories attached to them. This thing is just a thing we found. That's not enough.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, if you don't think there's a story attached to that, I don't think Snappy Branch can be helped.
Well, done pushing buttons. Let's go.
Let's check out this door.
Well, it is midnight, everyone.
Yes.
Time.
Give us a cliffhanger by opening the door.
Yeah. The door flies down.
Behind the door is another door. Son of a bitch.
A door within a door within a door. All right, sure. I'll give you a cliffhanger.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Such a
Yeah.
cliffhanger.
So it's a corridor. I'm sorry.